Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today it's the 31st of May 2026. It's 4 minutes past 10 in the morning here in the United Kingdom. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're in, well, I say sunny Alaska. It's cool, cold Alaska. Current local time here in Fairbanks is 1 o'clock in the morning, but because we're so high up in the hemisphere, you can see it's still sunny. So another place where it doesn't get completely dark this time of year, similar to where we flew into Tromsø last week. So it's nice to be somewhere we can enjoy the beautiful scenery, and this is a spectacular route today. Today we're going to be departing Fairbanks, flying northbound to a place called, I can't pronounce it, Utqiagvik in Barrow. This is the most northern US township or city in America. We're right in the Arctic Circle. Flight around 2 hours and 15 minutes, a little bit longer, but we're going to have a nice chill stream. The reason I'm streaming so early as well is because I'm at work later in the simulator, so it was a perfect time to stream, and the temperatures are quite cool compared to what we've had in the UK the last week or so. It's been absolutely roasting, so it's nice to stream at a different time. We might have a few new faces in chat, we'll never know. Anyway, flying as Everts Cargo today, or Everts Air Cargo. This is an actual DC-6 operator, which still operate this variant up here from Fairbanks, and I think it's their main base here in Anchorage as well, so it's the perfect route for us today. And yes, the DC-6 has now had an official update from PMDG to be fully native and compatible in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's a very complex add-on to fly, one with where you absolutely can trash the engines if you don't look after the airplane. I will be, because I've not flown this aircraft in quite some time, utilise the interactive in-flight engineer, but maybe in the cruise we'll have a look around and play with different settings as well. We're going to take a full load of cargo right up to a maximum zero fuel weight. It's 9.5 tons. We're going to have to use pounds because every get the tablet's in pounds. So how many tons of cargo is 9.5 tons? It's around 18,000 or 20,000 pounds of cargo today, which is quite a lot for this small aeroplane. Anyway, who have we got here in chat today? We've got members pinging in. Firstly, Simbear UK, and then Rob Har 13 just now as well. Welcome aboard, guys. Both have been, actually no, Simbear, you've been a member for a year and a half. Rob had 10 months. Thank you very much for your support for the entire time. Hope you're doing well, guys. Eddie, hope you're doing well. What craft is that cap dragged in this time? I have no idea what you're on about. Cheers, buddy. Cliff, hello. Hello, Flight Deck Simi says, Eddie Mambo coming in from Nairobi. Good morning to you. I wonder how hot it is in Nairobi today. Thanks for popping in. Mount 51. Good day to you. Morning, said Simbear UK. Josiah plays. What time is it for you, sir? I know you're over in the United States, so it must be, goodness, so early today. I would have again loved to stream this in the evening, but as I said, I'm at work later. So, V-Sky Check, good morning from Sweden. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing well. Dominic, greetings from Brisbane, Australia. There we are. I have a few Australians and people from Oceania in today. Finally catch a live one, and what a play to use for this flight, Captain. Absolutely. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Eddie, wow, they're still flying this today. Absolutely. If you look on Everts Air Cargo, there's a number of these aircraft being operated. Not many, I think it's less than 10, but it's still a very popular aircraft. I mean, it's old. We're coming up to sort of 70, 80 years old on this aircraft, but it's quite a utilitarian aircraft, and it can hold quite a lot of cargo. So it's cheaper for these aircraft operators to maybe operate these aircraft. I don't think there's only one of these in Europe, isn't it? The Red Bull have one of these out of Salzburg, which is pretty cool. Josiah, 4 o'clock in the morning for you. Unbelievable. Just give me a second, guys. Perfect. SF Igato1, thanks for joining us a member, buddy. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Thank you very much for the support. Anyway, because we're going to be using the virtual Airflight Engineer today, it won't take too long to set up. This aircraft isn't natively supported by GSX. I did see that you can get a plug-in, but we're not going to use it today. But yeah, I think the update PMDG have done is essentially just compatibility for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and they've had to make some changes to the LOD and the textures and design for it to work. But otherwise, it's quite a nice external model. There's a few elements which need updating, but you'll see when we load cargo, you'll get some nice static images here in the cargo hold. You've got plenty of passenger variants available as well. But yeah, it's a really awesome aircraft. We don't fly classic propliners very often, but when I do, it's always a lot of fun to fly these sort of aircraft. Anyway, let's jump into the cockpit. Completely cold and dark. As again, we'll use the virtual flight engineer to get the aircraft set up, but let's show you a little bit about where we are on our routing today. So here we are in Fairbanks, Alaska, and we're going to be flying right up here to northern Alaska. As I said, this is the most northern city in the United States of America, and to this place called, I think it's called Barrow, but the name of the this town here is called, I can't pronounce that at all. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. But yeah, it's a lovely flight, and the scenery is absolutely spectacular. We've got rolling hills here. We've got this mountain range. There's a little bit of loss of detail of photogrammetry when we come here, and then it's completely flat for the last sort of hour or so before we get to the Arctic Circle here and fly into Barrow. So yeah, 2 hours 20 minutes. Lifetime low of weather, being so high up in there. So at the start, we'll have brightness the whole way. Yeah, local time right now is 1:10 in the morning here in Alaska. Eddie Mambo, random failure mode. No, I won't need it in this aircraft. I'll probably fail it myself. Anyway, look, here we are in Fairbanks. I've just got default scenery for the stream today. We're over here in the hazardous materials loading, so we're, I don't know, carrying nuclear waste. I don't know why we're part here, but yeah, we're going to depart off runway 2 left today. And there are SIDs, but none of them take us to where we want, so we're going to do an omnidirectional departure, and this way we've got to be really careful of this terrain. I was quite close, but we should be visual. It's VMC conditions today. After departure, make a left turn, and essentially we're going to fly conventional routing. So we're going to intercept this radial from Fairbanks, the 306 radial, which is this airway all the way up to Bravo Tango Tango VOR, and then we've got another airway here outbound on the 319 radial, which takes us northwest all the way to Barrow, and there's a VOR here. And when we get closer, we're going to probably fly the ILS onto 08 with the RMP transitions. We've got the GPS to be able to fly our nav navigation to a certain degree, so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Awesome. Wiz100, thank you very much. 51 months as a member. Morning, Captain. Nice looking prop plane. Absolute DC-6 is an absolutely beautiful classic aircraft. And this was, you know, in its day, the A380. You know, this is cutting edge technology when this first flew in the 50s and 60s. And fantastic range. You get over the Atlantic in this in no problem at all. Anyway, what we're going to do is turn on the tablet. And as I said, we are using a lot of fuel today. Why is that take? This didn't happen on my test sector. There have been issues with this aircraft with WASM crashes. I found a fix in the PMDG forums, but we had no issues loading it up today. But essentially what we'll do here is ensure we have the correct amount of fuel. So the weather en route is okay. Destination, though, if we have a little look here, currently we have 10 statute miles scattered at 800, so it's sort of borderline IMC. About an hour ago it was actually overcast at 300 feet, -3. So by the time we get there, runway 8 is the only runway with a precision approach, so I might take it with a tailwind. Otherwise, there is a VOR approach onto runway 26. We'll see what the wind does when we get a little bit closer and decide from there. But I'm happy to take standard block fuel, so we'll round that up to 3.8 and add 100 kilos as a sort of extra contingency. So 3.9 tons. Did a bit of maths before the start of the stream. That's 8,595 pounds. So we'll call it 8.6. Oh, look, I've already loaded it. So yeah, we are. We've got the fuel on board. Cargo wise, look at the weight here, zero fuel weight, 33.3. This is 9.5 tons of cargo, so this is taking us right up to the maximum capacity of what this aircraft can carry. So what I'm going to do here is increase that. Again, did a bit of maths, it was 20,900 pounds, so main cargo hold's going to be completely full. There we are. If you were to look outside, you'd see the aircraft hunkering down on the gear, and now we have the aircraft right up to its maximum zero fuel weight, 20.9 tons of cargo. If I go outside into the drone cam, you'll now see When you load up the cargo, it fills it with boxes. There we are. Handle with care. Yes, nuclear waste is what we're carrying today. But there you go, 9.5 tons of stuff in the cargo hold. So this is going to be a really heavy DC-6 for departure. But we have the fuel loaded and the cargo loaded. We now can go to the airfield and press the before start toggle, and he'll configure the aircraft ready for the engine start. Then we can go through his actions. Lots of things going on. I don't even know what it's doing.
Voice recorder. Tasted.
It's a complex overhead panel.
Oil coolers and cowl flaps. Auto end position. Fuel and fluids. Checked. Pressurization. Set.
So I'll set that now actually.
Manifold and duct pressure.
16,000 feet today.
Radios.
Turning on the GPS.
Checked.
Oh, I did this the other day.
Doors and hatches.
So there's a bit of a bug where you can't press OK. The fix to cycle it is to just switch the radios over. All the doors being closed.
Closed. Door warning lights. Out.
It's making clicking noises, it is, Brad.
Removed. 3 on board. Seat belts and pedals. Adjusted.
One day, if I'm brave enough, I'll turn the AFE off and fly it without it. It's so hard. You've got to really be careful of these engines. They're Wasps, I think they're called.
Forward and 3.
There we are. It's getting.
Start checks complete. Started.
So he's getting the aircraft ready for you to start the engines. The sequence is 3, 4, 2, 1. I'm following this really good checklist from JD. I've used him before on several checklists before. Uh oh, hold on. I'm just trying to show you the checklist here. So this is with AFE, it doesn't know one without AFE, and honestly the checklist is 10 times longer. But to spice it up a little bit, what I've done here in the options is turn on realistic engine damage and realistic carb icing. So the AFE does manage the engines for you. You've got this maintenance manager. There's my test sector. You can see the engine hours are all here, and engine oil we won't top up. We've got enough, and all the other systems you need. You have water alcohol quantity as well for the water injected takeoff, and essentially the AFE is managing the engine, and you've got this brilliant engine stress visualizer, so you can see if you're exceeding any limitations and potentially damage the engine. So yeah, we'll leave it on. The AFE will manage the climb power, but I might play around in the cruise to get a bit more oomph out the engine and see if we don't blow anything up there. Do you have a link to that checklist? Sir, if you type in simply in Google JD Douglas DC-6 checklist or Douglas DC checklist, you'll find it on the flightsim.to website, which is pretty cool. Right then, so let's start the engine. So I'm going to try and remember the sequence of events here. So he gets it ready for engine number 3. So number 3 engine auto rich for the mixture. Going here on the overhead panel. Oh yeah, sorry, I've got a little fix here. So yeah, for some reason with this aircraft, when you power it up, the GPS you can't use. If you go here to options, just turn on the no GPS and recycle it. You then, there you go, it starts the GPS for you to use. So actually, before we start the engines, there's no point wasting fuel. Let's just get the GPS loaded here. So operational flight plan we covered at the start. We're on ground power actually, so we're not wasting any electrical power here. So the first waypoint is going to be to Hesse. So firstly, flight plan, push center, direct to Hesse. This waypoint here is on the airway, on the radial we want to intercept. So Hotel Echo Sierra Echo. Perfect. Enter. So that's the first waypoint. Next is Bettles, so Bravo Tango Tango. I'm going to navigate conventionally, but this is just if something goes wrong, I've got something backed up to follow. And the autopilot, you can actually slave to the GPS routing, which is pretty cool. Bravo Tango Tango. Enter. Next is Barrow, which is the VOR pretty much on the airfield. Bravo Romeo Whiskey. Enter. Lastly, we'll put in our destination, which is Papa Alpha Bravo Romeo. Papa Alpha Bravo Romeo. Perfect. So yeah, might as well do this now. There we are. So that's all in. Routing is complete. Hesse is the first waypoint, but we're going to do a conventional departure. Heading select and then intercept this radial to Hesse. So what we could do is actually tune the VOR now. The Fairbanks VOR is 1086. So we'll just select flight plan here. 1086. In fact, what I can do is just route now direct to our first waypoint, Hesse. Activate. There we are. So it's given us a direct routing there, but we're not going to follow it. I'm going to switch this to OBS. Oh no, it's not OBS. Sorry, to VLOC for conventional navigation to start with, and then 1086 is the VOR. So we can select this here. Tune up 1086. There we are. Sorry about this interesting music choice. 1086, 1086. There we are. I'll turn it off for the engine start. Good, so the VOR's tuned. It's identified down here. We've got the distance 3.1 DME, and then we can intercept that radial, which was 306, the black line. So on here, the OBS will set 306. 306, and we can do it on the standby as well. 306. Cool. And now I'm ready for engine start. Excellent stuff. Let's turn off that terrible music. So, fuel mixture is rich, auto rich on engine number 3 onto the overhead panel. We've got the ignition to both, engine selector to 3. We've got the fuel pump to low. Let's start engine number 3. So you move the start and safety switch together. Wait for the 12th prop count. The blade.
6, 9, 12.
There we are. Boost and prime. That should start the engine. There we are, good start on engine number 3. They need to increase the volume slightly to enjoy those fantastic engine sounds, but there we are, engine start on engine number 3. So once we started the engine, we just want to verify we have oil pressure. If I can find the gauge, there we are, so we have oil pressure in range. And then the idle throttle, make sure you got over 1000 RPM though, so yeah, we just got 1000 RPM here, which is pretty cool. Right, good start on engine number 3. Let's start now engine number 4. So this is the sequence, guys. Mixture to auto rich. Overhead panel to both. Engine select to start to 4. Fuel pump slow and starting 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Boost prime. Good start on engine number 4, hopefully. Oh, it's cool, guys. It's really cool. Realistic engine management on as well, so better check all the indications. So on engine number 4 we have a little bit of power here. RPM stabilising, manifold pressure stabilising as well. We have sufficient oil pressure and fuel pressure as well. Great, starting engine number 2. So again, down here, mixture to auto rich, both, starting 2. And fuel pump to low. Here we go. Can't quite see it. There we go.
6, 9, 12.
Boost prime. Awesome. I've got Toby Eye Tracker running nicely as well, so I'll utilise this at some point today. There we are. So it's perfect with this visual flight. There's been an update to make it a lot more compatible. And playing around with Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think I've finally figured out how to bind settings per aircraft, which is pretty good. Alright, then engine number 2, we have RPM, manifold pressure, oil pressure is good, fuel pressure's in range, perfect. Starting engine number 1. Mixture to auto rich. Overhead panel to both. Start selected to 1. It's a bit dark in here. I need to look at the lighting, I think. It is 20 past 1 in the morning here, local time. Pump to low. Starting engine number 1.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Perfect. Boost prime. Awesome. Try not to blow everything up. I'll try not to, Josiah. I've got my work cut out today flying this tank. I love the little vibrations as well. They're really cool. This was PMDG's first aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, mixture ball in auto rich. All the indications look around the same. RPM stabilising. All pressures all in the correct band. Oil temperature, you can see it's slowly heating up. We need to get that in the green band range before takeoff. and that's all configured and set. Right, let me just work out the lighting here, guys, before we do the I have to start flow. So I actually want this sort of to 0 and 10 because it does suffer from icing. This aircraft is fully modelled. Where's the lighting controls on this aircraft? Oh, here we go. Aha, that's perfect. I don't know if they have any backlights or backlighting here, but there's no lighting controls down there. Anything on the overhead panel you can see, guys, regarding lighting? It'll have to do with the red lights. Right, let's do the after start flow.
Start selecting boost pumps.
So if you look here, the engine stress visualizer, look, oil temperature is in the catastrophic stress range because it's too cold. So obviously you don't want to add loads of power yet.
Plane battery. Generators and inverters. Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed.
Perfect.
Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Awesome. So, again, everything's warming up nicely. Engine number 2 is no longer in the catastrophic stress range, and the oil pressure is obviously a little bit lower than it wants to be because it's a cold engine. So if you look here on the oil pressure, obviously it's quite thick and viscous, but you'll see, look, it'll begin to drop as it gets warmer, and the oil temperature gets warmer as well. So yeah, you can see it's just below that red zone. I love all these vibrations. Right, we are on VATSIM, but there's no ATC here. We do have an auto ATC code, so basically it says Squawk 3116, which I'm doing now. I doubt we'll get any ATC if there's anyone in the US awake at 1 in the morning, but there we are. And our taxi routing is quite short today, runway 02 left, with a slight tailwind for departure, but it is favoured for us. Just going to make a turn onto Echo and hold short at Alpha, and then the before takeoff checklist, okay? So what we'll do is just hold the brakes, release the parking brake, just release, just make sure the brakes are okay, there we are, and we're on our way. Oh cool, Aidan, I'll have a look at that, McCoy. And guys, anyone that flies this add-on frequently, feel free to make any input at any time if I forgot to do something. There's idle. Don't want to go too idle for too long because you don't want to foul the spark plugs. Brakes have a little squeak, look. That's great. Keep the RPM at about 1,000. There's the weather for departure, Josiah. Thanks for fetching it. What's the wind now? 240 at 6. Yeah, slight tailwind, but this runway's very long. There we are. We're already holding short of runway 2 left. Greetings from Greece, and is that Thessaloniki, I think? Magden, I can't recognise the code, but thank you very much for popping in. Yassas. Perfect. Parking brake is set, 1000 RPM. And now we can run the before takeoff checklist.
Boost pumps.
Honestly, the workload
Boost pumps on low.
must be incredible
Fuel
without the
cylinder and
AFE.
crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off.
Should have checked the fuel. But
Autopilot and carb heat. Off and cold.
so off blocks is 1023 Zulu.
Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
So there's the flap lever. There's the flap indicator. Awesome
Flaps
medening.
20.
Very cool.
Windows and turbine. Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. Free.
There we are, so gust lock released, so I've got full flight
Entering
controls.
On. Mixture and cowl flaps. Region locked. Set. Transponder. On. Landing lights.
What would I do about the AFE? Jep, good morning, watching during housework, good man. Oh yes, the lighting controls up here, that's what you guys
Extended
mentioned.
and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
Oh, where are they? They're probably they're staring me right in the face. Ah, well spotted. Ah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Upper instrument panel, red light, magnetic compass light. That's better. You can see the indications a little bit clearer here. Good. Okay, so we're just going to do a flight control check here. Here are my sporting shorts. So full forward, full back, left and right. And rudders are already checked whilst taxiing, but they're fine. Full left and full right. Okie dokie. So the departure is going to be runway heading. Beautiful time to depart. We're going to be fully visual with the terrain, and then, as I mentioned, after takeoff we'll make a left turn to intercept this radial. Probably that track here is quite good, but I want to make it a little bit earlier because, well, actually, you know what, if we go on a track of 302, that's going to be a nice intercept for the radial via Hesse, which is our first waypoint, and then we can fly outbound. Alright, so I'll probably climb straight ahead. Elevation here is 400 feet, probably 1400 feet, left turn 300 to intercept the outbound radial of, I can't remember what it was now, 315 or something like that. It's all set up on the OBS. Okie dokie. So, one other thing is our takeoff weight is 82,000 pounds. So you can have a look up here, all your speeds. We'll call it 85,000 rounded up. So V1 is going to be around 86 knots, sea level to 2,000 feet. And we'll rotate at the speed the manual says at about 100 knots. And then we'll aim for 130 knots until 500 feet. We then accelerate to 140 knots at 500 feet, and then when METO power is set, we'll increase to 165 knots, and that's the speed we maintain in the climb. Right then, so let's release the parking brake. Just let the aircraft roll forward. Just check the engine stress visualizer. There we are. Look, we're all now in the green. Everything's up to temperature. Carb's cold, but that's fine. The air's not very moist. Okay, I might keep him up for the takeoff, and then go back to the visual engine stress visualizer. Quite useful. Yeah, DC-6 was a 3-crew bird. I think on the older variants this only has 2 seats, this one, but yeah, I don't find it cheating using the AFE because, well, I might try it one day. And actually JD, as I said, mentions he has a checklist with no virtual flight engineer, but my goodness, you've got your work cut out. Oh yes, I better be doing some unicomming really, shouldn't I? Oh no, it's CTAF here. Goodness knows what the frequency is, but anyway, there's definitely no one here. Alrighty, we're lined up on runway 2 left. We'll hold it on the foot brakes to get the aircraft powered up for takeoff. And what's the time now? 10:30 Zulu, so we'll call that airborne time roughly. There we are, 1:30 local. Here we are, Toka's in chat. We'll do takeoff drive. We're not at maximum takeoff weight today. Here we go.
30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
So all the power is set by the VFE, but I'll do my best to sort of match the power levers. We've got engine 1 and 2 with this receiver, and engine 3 and 4 with this one.
Okay. 30 inches, stabilized. Cal flaps. Cal flaps. Cal flaps set.
Have a look here.
Full power, please.
There we are.
Going full power.
So full power, just match up the power levers. Very exciting.
Full power set.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Brakes released. Light forward pressure. Airspeed's alive. You know what? I'm not in a 7.3. I'll release the forward pressure. So I'll rotate at around 100 knots. There's 80 knots. V1. 100 knots. Rotates. Oh, she's not in trim at all. Oh my gosh, so much back pressure. Why am I not rotating? I've got full back pressure. This isn't good. I probably should have trimmed a bit. I don't know what happened there. God, it's well out of trim. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going off the end of the runway there.
Gear up. Gear selected up.
Gears going up automatically by the engineer. I was panicking there, guys. Look at the little flames coming out of the cylinders as well. Very cool. God, that was close. That didn't happen on my test sector, but we are heavy. Right, I need to be doing 130 knots, pitch down. We are so heavy, don't forget. I'm taking so much cargo, 10 tons of cargo in this thing. Alright. Now we're coming up to 500 feet above the ground, so let's pitch for 140 knots and retrim.
Flaps going up.
So there we are. Don't want to level off, but there's 140 knots coming up. And we can now start pitching up to maintain 140. I don't want to turn too early, because look at the mountains and hills. God, I would not want to be an IMC right now.
Meter power. Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2600 RPM.
So reducing power now for METO power, and then it'll eventually set climb power. Oh yeah, 140 knots still. And now I'm going to start.
Climb power.
Get
Setting climb
my
power.
eye tracker set up properly. We're all clear left now, so I'm going to make a left turn now as the engineer sets climb power, and we're going to make sure we're doing 165 knots. We're going to roll out on a heading of 300. Just pit lower the nose slightly to get 160 knots.
Climb power set. After takeoff checklist, please.
So there's 160 knots. So cool. Just move my head back slightly.
After takeoff checks complete.
There we are. So heading 300, looking at the RMI below the OBS. There we are. There's 300, roll wings level, and I'll make sure I pitch for 165 knots. And the beauty is with this AFE is completely managing the engine power in the climb, so it'll adjust the carburetor heat as required if we get carb icing, the RPM for you, the power settings, etc, etc. Right, there's 165 knots, so we're going to start pitching up now to maintain 165, wings level now. I should turn off the eye tracker for a second. If you know I'm still hand flying, you can enjoy Utqiagvik. Awesome. If you look here on the GPS, you'll be able to see if I increase the range. Routing direct to Hesse, and then we'll intercept the radial from there. So you can see once it's in trim, it flies beautifully. I mean, it's a very nice evening to go flying anyway, but what I'm now waiting for is the OBS to line up. Once it has, we can go on the heading of 306, or track 306. Eddie, Cricky sounds are great. Yeah, it's an incredible build, and it's PMDG's first aircraft. You know, they've just made it natively let me start again. They've made it so it's now natively supported in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I think it worked before with some workarounds, but yeah, it's nice. But very nice day flying. Look, one hand, it's beautifully in trim now at 165 knots. Turn the sim down slightly, and then what we'll do is, once we're sort of intercepting the radial, in fact, what I might do is give myself a slightly steeper left turn to intercept here. So I get myself about a 30-degree intercept. So if I turn heading, what's that, 306, so 296, 276. If I go 276, it's a nice intercept. We're just waiting for the tail of this needle to be on 276. That's 275. .276 is there, perfect. So if I quickly go to the this camera here, the charts, bring up the charts here for you. There you go. So we're on this intercept heading to intercept not this pink line, but this black line here. That's the radial we're looking for. Very nice to hand fly. You know what? We need to take this on about sim. I think this could be quite a good adventure here. Let's check the engine stress visualizer because it's got the AFE on. Look, the oil temperature's in a bit of a moderate stress range, but I guess it's still warming up. So you can see here it's getting into the amber range, but everything's in line here. Fuel flow, fuel pressure, manifold pressure, BMEP, lots of things I don't fully understand. That's why I've got an engineer. Remember, I'm a pilot, not an engineer. But this is flying really nicely. 276. Have you tried the Moser gear yet, Foxfly Studio? I haven't. They've got this massive force feedback controller, which you need a huge desk for, I think. But I'm quite happy with my Thrustmaster yoke, to be honest. Oh, look at this scenery, guys. Let's go outside quickly. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. Everts Everts. I thought it was pronounced Everest until I actually wrote. I actually saw what it was written. Awesome. So you can see the tail of the needle is being pulled round, and we're sort of 10 miles from the VOR here. So when that tail of that needle is on 306, you'll see the OBS be centered, so it should come alive any second. It's an awesome aircraft, and with the AFE I really appreciate that, because it allows you to fly the aircraft just like it would be in real life, you know. The PF would be concentrating on flying the airplane, the first officer or the engineer will be navigating, managing the radios and the engines and the aircraft systems. We are passing 6,000 feet, we've got 10,000 feet to go until our cruise level. Don't forget this aircraft's pressurised, it can actually climb quite high. OBS should be coming alive now. There we are. So you see the OBS is here, coming alive. Beautiful. When that's lined up, we'll go outbound on the heading of 306. Hello, Mr. Lancel. Do you have any? You finally have your new PC? Yes, it's been working fine for the last 5-6 months. It was a bit of a battle. Other moderators here all the time. Don't worry, I know who Mr. Lancel is. Very, very good friend of mine. He's a training captain, real world training captain. So yeah, if you have any questions, direct them to him today, not me. Right, OBS is lined up. So let's start a gentle turn, and then we'll get the autopilot in. Turn a little bit too early there. Hope the volume's all okay, not too loud, not too quiet. It's a beautiful morning here. Don't forget it's 1:30 in the morning here in Alaska. Nice and calm conditions, calm air. There we are. OBS and it's from, so we've got it correct. And now we'll go on a heading of 306. Obviously I'm not taking any wind into account here, so no fancy track up display. Awesome stuff. OBS is lovely and lined up. If you look here on the GPS, you can see Hesse's coming up. So we can actually route direct to Hesse. There we are, just tidies up the GPS. Get a little bit more of a right turn here. Quite lined up. Awesome. Okay, now lower my workload, get the automation in, which is a bit of a complex affair in this aircraft. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to utilise GPS now. Obviously we're on the radio and you can press 4 lock otherwise, but if I switch this to GPS, it's now slaved for the GPS, which is great. Go down here, turn on the autopilot, gyro pilot, there we are, that's on, and then we'll just make sure it's set to localizer. Now it's going to follow the GPS route, and to pitch the aircraft, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot to mute the mic. I thought I'd done it. Did you hear that? I was blowing my nose. I'm so sorry. Oh dear. Yeah, I got it. I think I got muddled up. I thought it was unmuted, and I blew my nose. And then went to unmute it when it was actually muted. Did you guys hear me blow my nose? Oh great, I did mute my mic. Perfect, I did it right then. That's great. You unmuted to blow your nose. Did you guys hear it? Oh no. Brilliant. I apologise. Great, so as we climb we'll have to carefully monitor the speed and adjust the glide wheel, because obviously with this fixed power setting, 190 BMEP, everything's okay. Just keep an eye on the oil temperature. I am going to have to reduce the rate of climb to maintain this speed. So you can see it's sort of stabilised at 165. So this present attitude is okay. Again, it's giving us 800 feet per minute, which is pretty impressive. You know, we're right at the aircraft's maximum zero fuel weight. But we've now got the GPS engaged via HESI, and you can see it's all backed up with the DME here. There we are, and you've got the RMI pointing towards away from the beacon in this case. Or we're flying away from the beacon. Now what I can do is bring up the Bettles VOR, which is 116.0. 116.0. Make that active, so you'll hopefully see the needle swing round. There you go, needle swings round, now pointing towards the VR, and it's 129 miles away. We can update box 2 as well, so 116.0. Oops. There again, there's the needle swing. Good, and you can see at our present indicated airspeeds, we'll be there in 43 minutes, 128 miles. And if I click on menu, data fields on, I have all the information GPS based now. So correct track, desired track, distance 127 miles, and a more accurate estimated time en route. Cool. Conquest, what's 160 knots in kilometers per hour? Roughly double it, approximately. It's not that far. Dom, you just heard me blow my nose in 7.1. Brilliant. Hello Larry, good morning. By the time you reach, we'll call it Barrow today, you should be in the 24-hour sun area. We're only about 3 weeks to the solstice by now, yes. And current time here in Alaska is 1:45 in the morning, and you can see how bright it is already. Won't get any darker than this, and as you mentioned, yes, 3 weeks it'll be a full 24 hours of sun. But the needle swing is satisfying. It's lovely and smooth as well, which is nice. Oh, thanks Nightbot, I forgot to update. You can get 10% off the Fort Lauderdale airport scenery via my link in Contrail, and every other product there. I forgot to update that, or turn the ticker off, and I'll turn it off now. I'm sure MK Studios would appreciate that plug. Good, that's off. Awesome. So hear all these clicking sounds. Again, the engineer is constantly manipulating things. If I zoom in, you might see the power. As we climb, he's going to be continuously, he or she is going to be continuously adding power. Eventually, you'll have full power, and the manifold pressure will drop. But the aircraft does have superchargers, so you can turn the superchargers on and climb above 17,000 feet, right up to, I think the maximum cruise is up at 26,000 feet. But today at 16,000 feet, we shouldn't need the superchargers. Ozzy, hope you're doing well. Wait, go Kimmy. Yeah, he's doing well. I mean, I am a Brit. I do obviously want George and Lando and all the British drivers to do well. But Kimmy's a sensation, isn't he? Very fast. Is there a race today? I don't know. I don't think there is. Oh, great to see a lot of people here. I'm so surprised to see a lot of Americans here and Canadians. It's so early in the morning, and this stream is such an unusual time. Generally, I don't get many viewers. I'm incredibly to think that we've got over, or nearly 200 people watching. So thanks for tuning in. And if you're in the UK, Europe, a lovely morning as well. Monaco next week, Roger. Cheers, having store. Well, I'm going on holiday next week for a few days in the UK, so going off for undisclosed, beautiful beach destination with our daughter. We didn't really fancy flying. I know a lot of people fly with infants, but in Europe at the moment, especially if you're from the UK, the passport control fiasco and all the stress associated with that, I really just don't fancy it. so we're holidaying in the UK today. Also need Lewis to get 9. Yeah, I mean Ferrari have got to turn that car around. I mean, this seems to be doing better this year. You. I was meant to come and see you, Mr. Lancel, wasn't I? We did mention that at our wedding it would come down in April, but Stressful. Stressful. You, as you well know, bringing your daughter to our wedding. Cheers, Andy. Don't forget to like the stream, folks. Hit the thumbs up. Yes. Thank you very much. We are passing 13,000 feet, and again, we're just going to dial down our attitude slightly because it's dropped to 160 knots. So what I'm going to do is give us a little rotate, like this. See the rate of climb decreasing. It's all about just managing the speeds, and once we reach the cruise level, we can use the AFE to select a sort of, I think it's like an average cruise power setting to give a reasonable speed and fuel flow, and then you can check tables to go faster or slow if you wish. Beautiful scenery, a little bit of snow on the ground. We should be above the cloud here at 16,000 feet. Ben, just fly the plane to your destination. We'll get through your airport much faster. Yes. Jump the queue and jump in. Go on a joyride. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. So we don't need to set the set standard. I can press the magic B button. There we are to set the local QNH. I just noticed the altimeter is only in hectopascals. There's no inches of mercury setting, which is unusual, being an American aircraft. Rob, do you get a discount if you choose your operator to fly with? Yes, so we get a certain amount of tickets a year. You only have to pay the tax and fees, so yes, you can typically fly for very little amount, so that's what we utilise. Hello Jim Boy, good morning to you, thanks for popping in. 2 to go. This has a really high VMO look. You can get up to sort of just under 300 knots. It's not far off what the highest indicated airspeed is in the 737. It's quite impressive, really. Morning from Norway, says Abbey Rails C. Just did my first in real life trip to UK, Belfast and Edinburgh. Love your streams, need to take DC-6 out again. Old school navigation, absolutely. Although I am using GPS right now, but yeah, we can absolutely route conventionally as we did for the departure. That's odd. The one I fly in 2024 as inches. Oh, really? Maybe it's something in the tablet I've not changed with, but yeah, there you go. There's no option to select kilos. It's all in pounds. I mean, they need to. Yeah, it works, but yeah, there's no option to change it here. Oh, Cinder's been cold at engine number 4. Lead off that engine. Ground speed will increase as we climb. We've got 191 knots. I think the speed. Yeah, that's going to be ground speed there. 191. Morning, Steve. Just wound the stream and watched the takeoff. What trim issue? Yeah, that was a bit scary. The trim wheels down here. I mean, I didn't set anything for takeoff, but maybe a little bit of nose-up trim would have helped. I think it just says set to neutral, which it is by default. Yeah, I did a couple of takeoffs in my test sectors, no issues at all. It was a little sketchy. Alright, we'll get ready for the level off. So again, we'll utilise the glide wheel to get the aircraft level using that system. Then you put the altitude control on. Don't just whack the altitude control on with a high rate of climbs. It just sort of sets in a little bit of a skew if that's directly from the DC-6 manual. Fantastic views. Oh, Campia 901, that's one for AI or PMDG 4. But yeah, I think mine's always been set to QNH. Yeah, this actual registration I think is an existing DC-6. It still flies today as Everts Air Cargo. Steve, yeah, just an old bird that needs a lot of coaxing to get off the ground. A lot of coaxing. And full back elevator, and it wasn't rotating. Thankfully, a little bit above VR, she sort of started going. Good. It's taken us what's that? 23 minutes to get to 16,000 feet. Alright, so start reducing the rate of climb with the glide wheel. You know, so the IVSI decreasing. That was with just a couple of turns. Yeah, another turn. Another one. Pretty much there, guys. Look, 16,000 feet. Try and get it bang on the zero. Look. Oh, so close. There we are. Altitude control on. So now it'll level off. Just takes a second. Go to the AFE and select cruise.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power.
You can manipulate all the engine instruments. So reducing power. 150 PMEP. Reducing RPM with the master RPM lever. It's back to 2,300 RPM. Reducing power further.
Cruise power is set.
There we are. And this aircraft can fly, what, how many hours maximum range? 15, 16 hours like this? It's pretty impressive. And you'll see the indicated airspeed will slowly increase, as will the ground speed, up to 210 knots now. Oh, he's flicking other things. I don't even know what he's doing up there.
Cruise checks are complete.
There we are. We're in the cruise, guys. And with this, you can just sort of let the aircraft sort of accelerate and stabilise at a certain speed. On this JD checklist, sort of extracted from the main manual, we have all these various tables and power settings. So right now, we're using the AFE, and it sets a medium power cruise setting, which basically gives you a sort of somewhere in the middle cruise speed, somewhere in the middle RPM. However, you can disable the AFE. You then need to manipulate the throttle and RPM, and you have various cruise profiles that you can set here. So if I zoom in slightly, you can see here, for example, this one, our actual gross weight now, it's going to be somewhere around 80,000 pounds. So there we are. Maximum cruise altitude, we could go right up to 25,000 feet. With that, if we set what's an RPM to 2,300, BMEP to 123, that will give us the supercharger on high, give us these speeds, 169 knots, etc, etc. So there's more detailed tables, but we'll sort of leave it as it is. Gives us a decent enough performance, and the SimBrief flight plan is based off this. Fuel management, we have, I think it's 8 fuel tanks. We're not using the alternate tanks because we don't have an ultra long haul flights, but essentially the alternate tanks are empty. But we have at the moment, looking here, about 17,000 pounds of fuel in each tank, so that's looking pretty good. Sorry, 15,000, about 1,500, 1,600 pounds of fuel in each tank, which is, yeah, it should be absolutely more than enough for our sector. Our alternate today is on the coastline. It's called Paku, pit sand, apparently. So here it's they have, what is it? Runway length 1,900 meters, more than long enough for a DC-6. And the weather here, if we have to divert, is fine. 10 statute miles, visibility, however, 6,000 feet, runway 24. I guess. What is it now at our destination? Oh, it's dropped off a bit. Broken at 700. We're going to have to do the ILS, I think, with a tailwind. Otherwise, we're not going to see the runway. So broken at 700, overcast 1800, -3. So it's definitely icing conditions. Lovely conditions. I did a little test sector here. The ILS didn't line up very well with the runway. I had to disconnect early, but we'll see how we get on. But it really requires careful manipulation of the engines in descent. So it's really interesting reading about the DC-6. You don't want to make loads of power changes. You can get away with it in a modern aircraft, and definitely a turbofan engine, but on this you've got to really manipulate the engines carefully. It's actually preferred, it said somewhere I read, on approach to control your speed. It's far preferred if you leave the engine power settings as steady as possible, and actually adjust the flap settings to control your airspeed. So, you know, it's not an aircraft where you can go and change power lots. You've got to be really respectful with the power settings, make the changes as required. Obviously, if you need to make power adjustments to keep the speed under control and stop you from stalling or overspeeding, you can make the power adjustments. But on the checklist here, it sort of talks about on final approach. I'll just zoom back out. Straighten ILS, so adjust your power settings between sort of 60 to 140 BMEP. It's quite a small window, so don't make too many changes outside of that. And in descent, you sort of leave with the initial descent, you leave the power as it is, make some subtle changes, and just accelerate and leave the engines where they are. Steve, to be honest, on rotation, I didn't know yours and my Boeing yoke could be pulled back that far. Yeah, it was creaking a little bit on the full back there. Ben, what's that thing on the top of the dash for? Yes, that opens up a pipe so you can drink. No, it's the rudder trim. It's a massive rudder trim wheel which you can adjust. I've knocked it a few times accidentally when flying this aircraft. But there we are, look, aircraft's now stable. This is showing an ETA of 11:35 Zulu, obviously including slowing down for the arrival. I think on the flight plan it was 12:05, so we're going to be about 10-15 minutes early, which is pretty cool. Flight time now coming up to 30 minutes. We were airborne at around 10:30 Zulu. So this is in local time, unfortunately, but we'll do some time and fuel checks en route. Next waypoint is 20 minutes away. We've obviously got the DME counting that down as well. 20 minutes there, 77.7 miles. Very cool. I should do an overnight stream of this, but the thing is, once you've used the alternate fuel tanks, you've got to adjust the fuel pumps or the fuel tanks and where they're fed from, otherwise the engines will probably flame out. How's the AFE doing my engines anyway? Oh, look at that, all green ticks. Thanks AFE, you're doing a splendid job. Hello Aussie Aircraft, bit of a weird question for you. I was asked recently about a roller coaster technique on the classic 7.3s for severe out of trim conditions. Sounds so bizarre. Have you heard of this on the NG? I think what you're referring to perhaps is a situation where, let's say you have a inoperative stabilizer and you're making a large elevator input. If you end up going very fast and you've got a large elevator input and you're trying to trim manually, it's impossible because of the aerodynamic loads on the elevator. So what crew would do is let go of the elevator, and the aircraft would obviously pitch quite aggressively up or down to whatever the in-trim condition was, but it gives you the ability to trim manually. And because you don't have the aerodynamic load on the elevator. In fact, when we train in the type rating and recurrent training, we do some what we call manual trim exercises. So we fail the stabilizer, which is an electric motor, and it can fail for various reasons. However, it's very reliable on the NG and Max. But we get the crew to trim manually at different speeds, and one of the things I like to demonstrate is actually at high speed make a large elevator input. It shows you how it's physically impossible to trim, because you know with the manual trim handle you're manipulating the stabilizer with a cable and a wheel, so that could be what that's referring to, and obviously the aircraft would pitch there, but I didn't know that was an issue on the Classic. Never flown the Classic before. Oh, look at that. Not much going on below us, and as we go further north it'll become even more sparse. Oh, what a shot. Get drone cam here. Oh, what a shot, guys, look at that. Yeah, that sounds a lot simpler than what the Checky was saying to me. Aussie, were you being checked? Were you? I'm a simple man. You can get very complicated and complex with all sorts of principles of flight formula and mathematics, but I'm very much a fan of keeping it simple. What a shot, look at that. So I'm experimenting today with some different stream settings. I've actually increased the latency, so the delay between me speaking or doing something on screen and you guys seeing it's about 15 seconds, usually it's about 5, but apparently that improves the quality ever so slightly. I don't know if you've noticed any differences. Obviously if I'm still, the quality is quite good. Sometimes if I pan around like this, depending on your internet speed connection, it can look a little bit dodgy, but hopefully it's nice and smooth for you guys. Lovely jumping. Slow down slightly. We'll do our fuel and time checks. You can see here the photogrammetry isn't quite as good. Actually, as you approach the coastline of Alaska at the north, it does look quite good. Awesome. Well, when was the last time I streamed this aircraft? I think it was over a year ago. Takes a while for it to load in, I think, if you've been outside. So obviously we're going to be a bit careful here. Just the top of clouds. Outside air temperature is -20, just slightly below here. So just make sure the window heat is set to what we want it to. So 0 to 40, 0 to -40 now. If you don't do that, you get all the icing on the window. And I'm not sure if the engineer manages the anti-icing systems. I'm not 100% sure. Just keep an eye out. SF Igato 1, I think, explained map enhancement and an update recently to have Arctic and Antarctic coverage. Oh, pretty cool. I guess it matters what base maps you use. I mean, I use Bing. Hello Freckles, now this is a blast from the past, absolutely sir. How are you getting on with your flight training, buddy? Thanks for popping in. This is old. Yeah, I was looking at the, if you look at the playlist which is in chat, guys, it's linked to my classic propliners playlist, all my streams are. And we've not done many classic propliner streams. We did the DC-6, I think this is probably our 5th or 6th stream in this aircraft. That great Boeing 247 by Wing 42, and I actually did a short yesterday, uploaded that, but it's not been updated for years now. I think the devs abandoned it. We've done a couple of sectors in the DC-3 as well, but I think this is probably the best model one. Fortunately, I don't think you can get into the no, I don't think it's modelled to cargo, but these textures are a little bit old school. It works. So yeah, did this version of the DC-6 have an engineering panel? It doesn't seem to have one here, but I think I looked on a video online and there was a whole engineering panel there for the DC-6. There's nice little touches here. What on earth is that? No idea. Circuit breakers, they seem to be modelled. I don't want to flick at it. Takeoff warning horn, landing gear warning horn. Yeah, I can't go any further back than that. I mean, it's a very clean cockpit, really. Havingston, wasn't that the one you crashed in the sea? Yes. No, well, the Boeing 247, the Wing 42, I think it was a little bit bugged. I mean, I followed the manual exactly, but these engines would fail so easily, and I looked on Reddit, a lot of posts about it, how it was bugged and difficult to manage the engines. Right, so in icing conditions here, just be a little bit careful. It might be worthwhile crowing a little bit higher just to stay out the icing conditions. Yeah, you know what? Just to stay out the cloud, I might increase our climb. So I've got to get the superchargers going here, so I just want to double check the manual because I've not done this for a long time. Climb, supercharger, at critical altitude, below a supercharger, shift to high, switch 2 engines at a time, reduce manifold pressure by 10-12 inches before switching to high to avoid damaging the engine. Maintain climb power manually after switching to high blower. Alright. Should we climb to a higher altitude, guys? I think our maximum altitude is about 26,000 feet, but if we went up to flight level 200, I think that'll be enough just to keep us out of the cloud. Having stored, cheers buddy. Hello Sam, nice to catch stream once again. Soon it's going to be 2 years of memberships for me. Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Having Store, for being a member. I don't know where that time's gone. I remember when you joined, but I really appreciate your support for that entire period of time and for being a very active member in the community. Cheers, buddy. Right then, I'm going to try climbing up. What's the worst that could happen? Oh yes, I blow up the engines. So what I'm going to do is switch to climb power, which I have no idea how to do. So we'll leave it cruise, and I'll disable the engineer. So bear with me here. I need to be really careful. So let's select cruise. There we are. So now I have full control of the aircraft and engines. Just going to set a BMEP of 150. And what we'll do is turn off altitude hold. Go off. And then I'm going to start climbing by rotating this wheel up. And now I need to work out where's the supercharger controls. There we are, low to high. So engines one at a time here. So reduce manifold pressure by about 10. So what I'm going to do is, because we've got cruise power already set, I'm just going to go back to around 30, nice and smoothly, on engine 2, 3, 1 and 4. And now what we're going to do is set the supercharger to high. Switch 2 engines at a time, 1 and 4, then 2 and 3. Okay, here we go. 1 and 4. Whoa! You can see the pressure increasing. Oi, 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 oi. Looks okay. 200. And 2 and 3. Ah, where's the buttons? I forgot where they are. Cool. Okay, I'm getting more oomph from the engines. Let's just check the stress visualizer. Oh my god, overboost! Oh, look, I'm just taking Barrow straight away. I didn't realise I was overboosting the engines. Probably the supercharger somehow. Oh gosh, I hope I've not damaged them. Where do I go here? Okay, engine health tick, 4 green ticks. Okay, I think if I hadn't checked that, I'd have been screwed. Anyway, let's start climbing. Where's the sort of supercharger pressure setting? I didn't have the manifold pressure that high, or the BMEP. Crikey. Right, water pressure, not looking at that. Cylinder head temperatures in the caution zone. Oh yeah, I'm going to have any AFE here. I should probably leave the mixture in auto rich. We're climbing anyway. There's 17,000. Oh my gosh, my speed. Surely I can add a bit of power. I'm adding a bit of power manually here. We'll just get some yellow question marks here, guys. There we are. AFE to climb. No, you can't use it to climb. You can only do cruise. It automatically goes to climb after takeoff, but I don't think you can manually select it. Maybe I'm just going to quickly open up the checklist without the AFE. Anyway, look, we've only got 3,000 feet to go. Set standard now. 013. There we go. Gosh, the speed's dropping off. I'm going to have to do even a shallower rate of climb than this. I missed my AFE. Oh gosh, what have I done wrong? That was the wrong wheel. That was the trim wheel. The props were 10 feet in front of the engine for a second there. I'm going to be so careful. I'm just trying to find the climb power settings. There we are. Right, cruise climb, that's what I want. So, 40 inches manifold pressure, apparently. So I could go up a little bit. I'm going to set... I don't like there's a split in the engines there, so 39 inches. Alright. I'm just going to go 1 inch below the required one. 2,400 RPM. Okay, yeah, I need to increase the prop here. So 2,400 RPM. Get a bit more bite out the props. Just check the... Oh! Cylinder temperature hot! Where are they? Where is the cylinder head temperature indications? Oil pressure, oil temperature, water pressure, carb. I can't see... Oh, here they are. Oh, yes, it is running a little hot on engine number 3. Don't I enrich it? What's the best way of controlling the... Open the cowl flap. I'll open the cowl flaps. Oh look, climb. Ah! Climb. Let's do climb. 6 degrees. Start calling for... Ah! I think I've done it. I've done a thing, guys. Oh yeah. I obviously didn't have cowl flaps on my Seneca, so we controlled the engine temperature, cylinder head temperature with mixture, but I guess we have a little bit more. What was the primary way of controlling cylinder head temperature? Well, I've manually... Oh look, I'm even in the green section. Oh, I've fixed it. Get me my DC-6 engineers rating as soon as possible. Alright, 8 minutes to the first waypoint as well. Oh dear me, that's funny. Alright, passing flight level 165, speed's back under control, temperatures are okay. Whew. Yeah, it was the cowl flaps I needed to open. I've just set it to climb. I guess I can open them a bit more. Let's give them 8 degrees. Ah, lovely fresh cool air from my engines. Coda 236 ever been hit by a trim wheel? Yes, my Georgia hurts. It hurts like hell. Don't get whacked by the trim wheel on the 737, guys. Makes you want to feel like you want to dismember the part of the body that you got hit by. It's so painful. Knees, fingers, yeah, gotta be so careful. Alright, let's double check. Yeah, RPM's good. Do I dare add a bit more manifold pressure? 39 inches it says for the climb. Our BMEP. It's all set. Oh, I've even, my cylinders are now cold. I've opened up the cowl flap so much. There you go. So I'll close them slightly. So yeah, obviously I kept it closed. It's all that hot air in that engine. Hi, I hope the DC-6 is behaving. Yep. I'm AFE off at the moment. I'm completely responsible for managing these engines. Thank goodness the engine stress visualizer is the language decoding all the information in front of me. But everything's in the green. Carb air fine, but there's no moisture here. Oil temperatures fine. Oil pressures are fine. Fuel pressures are fine. Cylinder head temperatures a little cold now. I cannot wait to get that AFE back on. Anyway, it was a great decision because we're in top of the clouds at 16,000 feet, so just climbing up to flight level 200 just gets us out the cloud there. Oh, look at that. Sun beginning to rise in Alaska at, what's the local time? 2:15 in the morning. Beautiful. It's fun. I love the challenge of this. And don't forget, I have got the realistic engine damage on, so if I do engine health engine health 1 and 4 question mark. Okay, I might have damaged it ever so slightly. How long have we got in our flight remaining? About an hour and a half. Maybe I just take a little bit of manifold pressure off. Actually, as we climb, the manifold pressure is going to drop anyway, so I'll just leave it as it is. Right, repair engine. No, I'm not cheating. But okay, it's in the green now. See how complex that is. I've only had the AFE off, but I think it's when I started adding too much power briefly. I've knackered up the engines. Hello, someone's just asked any scanning technique when flying these classic cockpit. It's essentially when hand flying the same technique of concentrating on attitude as your primary reference, and then keep your eyes moving. Attitude, airspeed, attitude, altimeter, attitude, IVSI, or VSI in this case, attitude, navigation. You obviously have the crew here to help operate the radio and manage the instruments as well. Of course, I'm having to do everything, so there you are. Steve, yes, you could have asked that alternate question. Oh dear. Anyway, look, I've got lots of green ticks, and it's not red. It's question mark. Only 1,500 feet to go. We're barely climbing at 165 knots. I'm not going to add any more power, but as you climb, you have to add a little bit of power to keep the manifold pressure there, so I'm just going to add a little bit there. I don't know how I damaged it then. I think the cylinder heads were getting really hot, weren't they? She's crawling up slowly. Hard work, this plane. Cool. Well, we're coming up to our first VOR, Bravo Tango Tango. We'll do some fuel and time checks once we get there. 3 minutes to run. We've got the GPS time as well. Obviously we've had to slow down slightly as we climb, but once we level up we'll be able to accelerate again. Awesome. Yeah, lacking a bit of photogrammetry here in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, so that's how it was on release, wasn't it, everywhere? It's a bit not the best quality. Sort of not great there, a bit better over there. Right up in the Arctic Circle now. Oh yes, do you need to adjust the cabin pressurization? Well remembered, I do. Yeah, so differential pressure now is 4 psi. We best increase the flight altitude to 20,000 feet. Oops, it's just a reference there. So the cabin altitude will now increase to 8,000 feet. You can see the rate of climb is slowly climbing here. Supercharger airflow rate. Okay. Well remembered there, Pascal. Good job. Ah, look, no AFE required. Everything is perfect.
Welcome.
Beautiful. Thanks, Scott Toland, for your subscription. Welcome on board. Got a message here. It's probably to say approaching waypoint. Next track. 311. Okay. Approaching VNAV profile apparently. Okay, so remember we're airborne at 10:30 Zulu, coming up to 50 minutes airborne now. Let's check the operational flight plan as we head over to our first waypoint. So, Bravo Tango Tango, airborne, flight time 54 minutes. We're 4 minutes ahead of schedule, which is good. A nice early turn on departure. And estimated fuel on board should be 2.5 tonnes. We'll work that in pounds, so 2558 times by 2.204. Should have 5,600 pounds of fuel on board. So looking at the gauges here, we've got about 1,400, call that 1,380. So 1,380 plus, that's closer to 1,450 in that tank. Plus, keep me bashing my calculator, 1,420 plus about 1,320. So 5,600. We've got 5,600. So fuel's on flight plan fuel. Great. Awesome. Luke says, "Class, damn that displaying classic pip looks not good." Are you talking about the tablet or the GPS? Not sure. Anyway, there we are. GPS navigation is engaged, so it's going to fly over the VR. We're in the cone of confusion here, so the needles have sort of pointed down. Slight descent there in the turn. We want to keep climbing up to flight level 200. 160 knots. There we are, outside the cone of confusion. And we're now going to fly outbound on our new course after Bettles of 326. So the tail of nodal hopefully on 326. Good. Next waypoint is basically our destination. 1 hour 27 minutes, but that will reduce as we level off and accelerate. But I'm barely climbing now. Manifold pressure. I can again add a bit of power here as we drop off. So just set just below 39. There's a slight split at 1 and 2, which I don't like. Navigraph shot, sorry, well spotted. I can't see it, you see, on my screen. 20,000 feet. Oh, look at the beautiful scenery. Can use a bit of Tobii eye tracker action here, so perspective of the pilot sat here. It's a bit jittery, but Very nice. Look at that, guys. It's great. You can look right at the engine instrumentation here. So 19,300 feet, speed 165 knots, pressures are all okay. It is a good tool, this. Oh, my head is in the thrust levers, power levers. Cylinder head temperatures are fine. All temperatures are all okay. Fuel pressure's fine, all pressure's okay. So all the indications are good. Well spotted, it was hard to overlay. Yes, for you guys, baby. Come on, let's get up there. It's just still crawling up. It's getting dark again now. I thought I turned all the lighting up in this aircraft. So superchargers are set to high. There's these lighting controls. Yeah. That's better. Well, I think it is. 500 feet to go, but we're out of the cloud, out of icing conditions. Two slightly damaged engines. Amazing. A little bit of a headwind as well, 348 at 20 knots. Ben, I recently found out you can set Navigraph to stay on top of simulator. That's pretty cool. It works a little bit differently when you're streaming. So I have overlays, so when I press this, I can't see that. I can obviously have Navigraph open on a tablet, but it's on my main simulator screen. This is what I have. Is that display capture without the overlay. Alright, so can't see it. Gilio, yes, what's the weather like at destination? You said it's improving. The code's Papa Alpha Bravo Romeo if anyone wants to bring that up in chat. It was a little sketchy when we left. Cloud base around 400 or 500 feet. I bet they get some awful weather there in the winter. feet. Sorry, 10,000. Start again. 19,700 feet, nearly at our cruise level. Engines are running fine, I hope. Uh-oh, mixture too lean. Well, I've got auto lean on, so it should be doing it automatically, which is an actual setting on the DC-6. There we are. Oil temperature is getting a little warm on engine 3 and 4.
Welcome.
Yeah, okay, it's still outside the caution zone. Thanks for your subscription, Reese Jones. Welcome on board. Now we're out of all the weather now. Beautiful. Yeah, you need this to be pressurized. Nearly there. Come on, you can do it. Let's have a look at the weather then. Yeah, it looks okay now. 10 statute miles, few clouds at 700 feet. But the forecast is better. Snow later on this evening though. But we should be in before then. Oh, our rate to climb so slow. Go straight to altitude capture. Flight level 200, guys, in the DC-6. Nearly there. Boom, done. Altitude capture on. Cruise AFE, come back, please.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power.
Ah, he's going to manipulate and control my engines now. So it's actually increasing the BMEP slightly, reducing the RPM. All the needles are lined up now.
Cruise power is set.
There we go. Cruise power set. No doubt everything's now perfect. Engineer, overboost,
Cruise checks are complete.
excessive BMEP apparently the engineer set. Excuse me. Well, hopefully that's not doing long-term damage whilst I'm in the moderate stress range, but more temperature will hopefully control. But engine 1 and 2 is not an optimal performance, but 2 and 3 is still absolutely okay. But maybe he'll adjust power as required. But it should set slightly over 150 BMEP, and we'll probably end up doing 170 odd knots or so. But our ground speeds look still quite high, 204. Amazing. So, estimated time. Oh, look! Oh, damn it! I just knocked the rudder trim. I'll see how the aircraft yawed slightly. So now we've got this absolutely spectacular terrain as we fly further north away from Fairbanks. I put the world map option on. There you go. Look. So I have no clue what this mountain range is called, but as we fly over Alaska here, we've got this set of mountains, and the view is spectacular. There's absolutely nothing here. Oh no, there we are. There's a small settlement there and a runway, but apart from that it's nothing. The same with all this flat part of the scenery as well. So if we go outside you can just begin to see that mountain range has started. Very nice indeed. Cool stuff. So guys, I'll take this opportunity then to have a break as we are now en route on our final leg up to Barrow, the most northern city in the United States of America, and then when we come back we'll carry on having a chill time, stress-free, enjoying the morning here. But it's very nice to see some familiar and new faces here in chat this morning. So it's coming up to 11:30, airborne now for an hour, almost at the half point of the sector. I'll take a 10-minute break, come back at about 20 minutes to 12 UK time. So yes, thank you very much. I'll make myself a cup of tea, I'll put some chill music on, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. I'll put you in that view there. Beautiful. See you shortly, guys. Nice intermission, guys. Nice refreshed. Back into the DC-6 cockpit. We are got a brew on. Where's my cup of tea? Ah, there we are. Cheers, everyone. It's a lovely time to stream. You know, I will always try to stream in the evenings because I think that gives maximum opportunity for people to watch all over. But you know, it's cool. It's a Sunday morning here, 11:30. We're having a quiet day today. I mean, I've got to go to work this evening. No flights this week in the simulator, and then my next set of days off, my holiday break, and then next block I've got some sims and flights. But yeah, it's nice to jump in. So obviously, distance-wise we're halfway, but the second half of the flight will be quicker because obviously the cruising in descent will speed up. So we've got 56 minutes to run as the crow flies. We are somewhere in the depths of Alaska. There we are. Wow, right in the middle here. And if we look outside, spectacular scenery. Probably some parts of this has never been touched by human civilization. It's very desolate, very cold. So this time of year okay, but in the winter, my goodness me, it must be frigid. Everts Air Cargo still operating. Fantastic scenery. Microsoft Flight Sim is running really sweetly on my PC. It's really ultra smooth. Very happy with it is. Long may it last. Been seeing a lot of, I think we touched upon this last stream, but I've been seeing a lot on guys, sort of V1, 320, Simpilot 330 driver. They've got a lot of bizjet flying going on at the moment. Now, bizjets I've not really touched on this channel, not for any particular reason, but I think there's a lot of exciting business jets coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment, so it's something I might have a little play with when I get back from my breakaway next week. There's one I think which sort of has a full FBO installation, a bit similar to the Challenger, sorry, the Hot Star, if I explain, but yeah, I might have a little look at that, something a bit different. I mean, bizjets are great because they fly as fast and as high as a commercial jet airline, if not higher, but there's a lot more versatility going to shorter strips, so there's an exciting element to flying these aircraft. But I wouldn't know where to start in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is a good one, which is not a good one. One thing I love this sim to fix though is turbulence. Have a little bit of turbulence here, because I know the realistic setting is still terrible. But it's always smooth everywhere you go, even with gusty winds, unfortunately. That's a fantastic view out that window. Yeah, biz hoppers look like it might be fun. I'll do a bit of research and see which one's what. Let's have a look here. I think if I go to our Discord server, have a look at the Flight Sim news. Why does that not come up? Can you guys see that? Perfect, there we are. Why is that so large? There we go. So, I think it came up here. Oh, that'll be something to try out. Oh, cool! Orbx have released Atlanta, so I might purchase that. That'd be really cool to see Atlanta. But we've got this FS reboard. I think this Phenom 300E has been quite widely accepted as a very good add-on. So. Ace Airstream, yeah, the Phenom 300 with the FBA features great fun packs to keep happy but detailed to fly to. Also the Flight FX citation is great and fast. Okay, I think I might have a look at this Phenom 300. It could be quite fun. But yeah, this could be with scenery is I like to do 2-sector streams now, so we're very kindly gifted from MK Studios the Fort Lauderdale scenery for the Orbex Atlantic scenery. This is an airport we've got to get. One of the most popular airports on Vatsim, busiest airport in the world. So we'll check that out and do a couple sectors, start off there and come back. Fort Lauderdale, but yeah, I think this is the one that I read about. Yes, it's a safe website to go to. So it's already received a few updates. Full sort of glass cockpit suite, isn't it? $40, reasonable. It's a good enough add-on. But yeah, I think I might take a look at this. Discord reveal, yes. Where's something to hide there? Mostly, most of my streams, I think it says on the YouTube stats, like 60-70% of my viewers are members anyway. And there we are. We'll have a look at that at some point. I'll look into purchasing that and get the Orbex scenery. So that's a couple of things lined up. I'll probably, well, they probably have an FBO here. We could combine this with the stream with Atlanta, but I'd probably take the 7.3 or something familiar for Atlanta Ops. Yeah, $40 isn't horrendous, especially if it's well modelled. I think that's an acceptable price. I don't know why we're staring out this window. I think it's because it is very nice, very beautiful. Bit of a drop off in quality, but where we fly at 20,000 feet today, we're fine. Let's just double check everything here. Yeah, so it's still slightly over boosting, but if I go here, yeah, it seems to be damaging the engines. I didn't top up the oil prior to this flight. We'll just leave it as it is with the AFE in charge. We're getting a good 170, 180 knots out of the aircraft indicated, but because of our altitude and our true airspeed, our ground speed's quite decent, 227 knots here. Cool. Yeah, I would love to stream a bit more. I always aim to try and stream twice a week, if not more. Right now I'm sort of getting one out a week at the moment. We talked about recording videos a lot on the channel. They don't seem to get as much reach, and I've covered pretty much everything in the 737, so I'm not one that usually does reviews of other aircraft. I think that's quite a saturated market on YouTube, and there's people far better suited to go into a lot more detail. So I prefer streaming because it's easier in a way. I love the interaction with people as well. Steve, just in your comment about turbulence is pretty bad. Also remember to turn off wake turbulence as setting the main turbulence to low. I think I've got that off and it's set to medium here, but I very rarely see any turbulence. Actually, I know what would be quite interesting to see. How far, if we go on Vatsim map, we're on Vatsim at the moment, how there's anyone flying further north than me? Probably someone crossing the Atlantic Circle. Let's have a look on the Vatsim radar. So it's Sunday, reasonably busy in Europe as it always is. Where are we? Oh, there we are. Perfect. DC-6. And then we've got an alpaca ahead of us. Look at that. He's flown also from Fairbanks in their 737-400. No doubt they're further ahead of us. I wonder how many DC-6s there are flying online. There can't be many. And there's 6 DC-6s, wow. Oh look, there's another one. Someone's flying from, is that Juneau to Anchorage? Also flying as Everts Air Cargo. We've got, is that somewhere in Japan? Somewhere in Italy. 6 DC-6s on Vatsim, it's pretty cool. Steve, we need to go through that. I'll scroll through your message. I don't have auto FPS running at the moment. I'm sort of, I think, have I installed it? I've got the habit of just not using it. I think it's because it's always IMC, but yeah, I think if I had that installed now and running, we would have better quality pictures outside. I should have the capacity on this build to be able to do that. Oh cool, well there we are, there's 6 other Vatsim users using the DC-6, that's awesome. Arctic Circle. Did I say Atlantic Circle? I was meant to say Arctic Circle. Hurley says I could do Airbus tutorials. Yes. No, to be fair, streaming is sort of the backbone of the channel, has been for the last sort of 5-6 years since I started it. shorter, a bit of fun. It gives you the ability to use existing content and sort of tailor it to bring new viewers. But I just love doing this sort of stuff, the interaction. You guys watching me and make a fool of myself. But you guys sometimes ask some really good questions, which test my knowledge as well about the 7.3 and instrument flying and whatnot. So for that, I like it as well. One of the reasons I love being an instructor as well, getting asked some cracking questions. Ace Airstream, the ATR is also quite quietly available at last, updated for 2024, released on Marketplace without fanfare. It seems to be flyable at last. So is this the ATR that's included, well not included, it's one of the Flying Legends? I do have it, but is that now updated for 2024? I've always found that it's flown interestingly. I think we've flown it on 2 or 3 streams. It's always been a little challenging to fly, but yeah, I might have a look at that again. Hold on, I've just realised something. Is that? No, I think we're okay. Seems to be a little bit off the magenta line. Now, I'm just going to route direct to the waypoint again, see if that changes. Direct to Bravo Romeo Whiskey, enter, activate. No, it's still good. It's just slightly off the line, it's not changed in any way. Hold on, yeah, that should be on localizer. I must have accidentally flicked that to gyro pilot. Yeah, we were just drifting off our desired track, but there we are, GPS is on, we've realigned it, and now it's following the HSI. Just check all the instruments again. BMEP set to 150 on all 4 engines. RPM's good. Manifold pressure's 34 inches. Cylinder head temperature's right in the green. Very cold carburetor air, but there's no visible moisture. Temperatures are in the green. Pressure's fine. Fuel pressure's good. Auto mixture's great. You just want to leave it there. Okay, that's interesting. Thanks for letting me know, Ace Airstream. So I've got this Phenom to check, Atlanta operations, and the Phenom. Pretty cool. It's always stuff to sort of stream and fly. And then X-Plane, I'm sort of yearning Concorde a little bit. We always love Concorde on the channel. Last flight we did was Heathrow to Barrow. Again, that was almost a year ago. And I think it's actually received a number of updates. The Colomata Concorde, that is. It isn't perfect. I know the one for P3D is the best. We need them to bring it to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I always enjoy flying the aircraft. It's such a challenge. Did we almost run out of fuel last time? We landed, we were about 15 minutes of fuel remaining or something. Something bonkers. I think it was a bit broken in descent last time. We were descending like 20,000 feet per minute when we changed the trim. Sweet. Bone King just bought the Phenom. He says it's phenomenal. That's it, very good. I don't even have my soundboard up for my wait, hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. No, wrong one. That's what I was looking for. Okay, cool, I'll look at the Phenom. But it will be just, I'm in the sim all week this week, and then as I said, a few days holiday. It won't be really the following week until I can look at anything, and I don't have standbys, but I've got some reasonable duty times. Maybe on Tuesday I can have a look at it before I go to work, but I'm quite busy tomorrow. Ace Stream, any luck with getting the Dash 8 back for Explain where you're going to contact the dev? I'm going to purchase it. The dev got in contact with me regarding the FlyJ Sim 200 anyway, but I was very fortunate to get the first copy for Explain 11 for free, so I haven't actually ever purchased it. So I'll purchase the FlyJ Sim Dash 8, because for me that's the best turboprop simulation we have, and it's been updated and kept up to date too. So last stream we did with that was in Canada. Was it? We did the Billy Bishop, wasn't it, or something like that, to somewhere in 2 sectors. But yeah, you know, there's some great aircraft to test out, and I think that's another one that's always been a channel favourite. There's an ATR coming for X-Plane as well, correct? There's also a Max coming from, is it Nimbus Simulations? Who's making, someone making a 707 too? That's an aircraft I really want to fly. Yeah, Slush Puppies, the Q4XP is brilliant. Judo, we've had this before. On the 737, does the rudder trim affect the nose wheel steering on the ground? As far as I'm aware, and having obviously done multiple landing single engine in the simulator, it doesn't impact the tiller in any way. I think we did a stream once. We landed with the PMDG single engine, and it kept yawing off to the left. I was thinking, why is it doing this? And we looked, and we reset the rudder trim to 0, and it stopped yawing. And I've never seen it yaw like that with the aircraft. So as far as I'm aware, I need to probably ask an engineer for an exact answer, because it's not in our FCOM. The rudder trim will not displace the nose wheel steering in any way, only the rudder trim itself. So I'd say no, it doesn't, but I wouldn't put a huge amount of money on that. The rudder has a certain amount of influence on the nose wheel steering, up to 8-9 degrees, and we can use the rudder for steering on the ground in sort of for straight lines to stay on the centre line. It's actually preferred in a way, because if you use the tiller at sort of 20 knots, it can be a bit jerky. So you can use the rudder to stay on the taxi line. But yeah, never use the tiller during takeoff, or noticed any rudder trim for making the nose wheel steering inputs. Negative, are you going to be checking out the native X-Plane 12 Fly JSIM 732? Absolutely. Right, I'm going to write all this down, okay, because we've got lots of requests here, and there's so much I can stream, but I want to do what the people want to see. So let me write this down. I'm going to buy the Q4XP, updated one for X-Plane 12, Fly JSIM, hoping to get access to that before it's released publicly, but if not, no worries, I'll buy the update. The Phenom, Atlanta scenery, and the ATR. Great, that's 5 ideas. Air4 Labs is coming, that's the one having installed. Code it's like taxi on glass in the sim, to be honest. There's no grip physics or anything. Yeah, it's better in Microsoft Flights in 2024. 2020 wasn't great, but it's still a bit of tweaking needed. But you know, if you taxi around a DC-6, it has inertia in turns now, which you did in an aircraft previously. Oh, Steve, thanks again. You didn't have to do that again, because I think if I scrolled up enough, I'd have seen all your input there. But I'll have a look there. I mean, looking outside now, you can see we've cleared the mountains. It's not too bad, but yeah, I think with Auto FPS it would change a lot on the go to make it look great all the time. How are we doing anyway? 39 minutes till we arrive, and we'll accelerate a bit in the descent. Just to remind you, we are in real no man's land here. It's completely sparse and flat. Awesome to visit. You know, this is real off-country flying. There's no ground-based navigation aids between here and our destination as well. You see we're now 137 miles from Bravo Tango Tango. We'll actually tune now on box 1 the VOR we're routing to via GPS, which is Bravo Romeo Whiskey 16-2. We'll use this one, 16-2. What's the message? That was the next course. Active, 16-2. Yeah, we're in range, so we can actually tune both boxes. 16-2. 16-2. There we are. So we have 146 miles to run. And 220 knots ground speed, 38 minutes, which agrees with the GPS as well. Happy days. Oh gosh, yeah, the Fokker 100 Slush Puppies, yeah, I think Just Flight made a recent post on their Facebook page. Audio recordings, that'll be a fantastic add-on. And that actually reminds me, another aircraft I want to fly is the Fokker 27, because that's a great little add-on. We've not flown that in absolutely ages, so I'll add that to the list. That's for me, I want to fly that aircraft. Cheers, Steve. Yeah, I'll look at that later on. Sorry, I just banged my microphone with my cup of tea. 1903, sorry I missed your comment there. What's your appetite for long haul in real life? It's now off the table since the kiddo. I mean, it was off the table before kiddo, but the idea of taking off and going somewhere for 15-16 hours, you know, wonderful to have in your logbook and your license that you've type rated on a wide body jet, and I would love to say that that's the case, but work-life balance dictates that I don't want to leave my operator. I love working for my operator. I love training. I love the checking element. I feel like I'm bored to do it in a way, but I'm very passionate about it. In fact, one of my students yesterday was very cautious to ask, "Are you the guy that runs Flight Deck to Sim?" I said, "Absolutely, yeah, it's me," because he recognised my voice, watched the videos, and he said, "I love it. I love the enthusiasm you have for streaming and this." And I said I can't get enough of it, which, you know, I'm very fortunate to call this sort of two jobs really. I do this in my spare time and I enjoy doing it, and I love work as well. Very lucky, but to go long haul, it will completely upset that work-life balance. And for many of you who know, having kids, life changes for the never to be a way that it was never before. It's hard work, but I wouldn't change it back. It's so lovely now. And our daughter's coming up to 14 months. She's standing, she's nearly walking, recognises me, blurting occasional words. She likes saying egg a lot. She goes egg, egg, and ball. She recognises we've got a little ball pit in the lounge, like a little room there. And she goes bow, bow, bow. But she's not really saying whole words yet. But yeah, it's amazing. Wouldn't change it for the world. I digress. Oh, Nightbot's found the red balls again. Has he got off on one? Yes, cheers. Hello, Lambert. Do you fly much offline, or do you mainly do only the streams when you fly with the sims? Do you much fly offline, or do you mainly do only the streams? I'm not quite getting your question now, Lambert. Are you asking, do I fly offline of that sim, or when I'm streaming, am I using an online network? I think that's what you're trying to say. But ball or bald? Well done, having stored Domino Messina. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Ball. Josh Gratian, hello. Do you align your heading and then use the gyropilot, or does the gyropilot use the FMC or get data from the VOR DME? So right now the gyropilot's slaved to the GPS and using the track information there. If I switch the CDI from GPS to VLOC, it will then use a radial here to fly inbound. But you don't need to align the heading or anything like that, and it's slaved to the compass, so you don't need to adjust anything here. Actually, we're quite far north today. My ATPL Fury is quite rusty on this, but don't you eventually start flying true tracks? Oh, Lambert, sorry, no, when you're off work, do you only use the sims when you're doing stuff like this? Or do you a lot with them? Oh, I've got you, Lambert. So, yeah, I primarily use the stream now to plan, the simulator to plan streams. I occasionally use it for things for work. Typically, if I'm flying to an obscure airport, we have a very varied route network, and we have some very challenging destinations. So, for example, the one I always sort of quote was 3 years ago, going to Corfu, and they had previously, it's now an RMP approach, but for runway 16 it was a circle to land. So I practiced that in the sim because it was very likely that I was going to fly this circle to land on the line the next day. Did it in the sim so I could see what it looked like pictorially. Flew it the next day, it was identical, and I was like, I'm so glad I used the sim just to see what it looks like. I was line training as well, but it's a captain's only landing, but it just gives you a bit more confidence to look at a challenging approach like that. The Corfu approach now has an RMP onto 16, so it's not so bad, but yeah, that's the sort of thing I use it for. Very occasionally I have a little play around with certain things, but majority of its use is now, right, I want to stream the DC-6 because it's just been updated by PMDG. I'll do a quick test sector. Alright, I'm back happy flying this. Let's now run the stream. And I've always done, you know, not I don't always do test sectors for the 7.3 because obviously I know how to operate that aircraft. I just check the scenery is installed, but no way I would want to jump into this aircraft having not flown it for a year. It goes, right, should we start the stream? Because you'd watch me battle through my notes. I mean, if I show you here, look guys, here's my notepad, my notes on the DC-6. Look, from when I first flew it 4 years ago. So I've got all my notes here, how to take off and speeds, have it for loads of aircraft. So for example, the BAE 146, the Felis 747-200. That way, it's not a complete joke watching me. Just like Hawk T1, the Fly JSIM Q4XB. So yeah, I've got every aircraft that isn't a 7.3 I have notes on, so I know how to sort of, I don't know how to operate the aircraft exactly, but I can at least get you from A to B without destroying anything. Leg reveal, yes, there we are, my knobbly knees and my shorts and my tee. If I sneeze, you'll see a little bit of my chin, but alas, I remember to turn the camera off before I sneeze. Perfect, right, well look, we've got 31 minutes to run. I don't know if we can quite see the coastline yet. Look at this scenery now. It's just so sparsely populated. I don't think there's any settlements here whatsoever. Anyway, let's do some descent calculations. So we want to be early, low, nice and early. We don't care about CDAs. It's because of the way you have to manage the engines and speeds. So the idea is I want to descend to 3,000 feet, and I don't mind spending 10 minutes there being low to the ground, because it takes a long time to slow this aircraft down. You can't cut the power. If you cut the power, you're going to shock all the engines and damage them. So you have to be really respectful with the engines. So this is what we're going to do. Let's get an update on the weather. So 14 minutes ago, it's 290 at 4. So I am going to land on runway 8 with a slight tailwind. Okay. It's not much of a tailwind, I don't think. Runway at 4 knots tailwind. Okay, so well within limits, and this runway is 7,100 feet. It's nice and long. The reason I want to do that, it is potentially a low cloud base can roll in, and it's only a VOR approach there. I mean, we should be okay overcast at 1,500, but there's no way I'm flying a non-precision approach unless I absolutely have to in this thing. So what we're going to do is continue towards the beacon. If I overlay this, you can see which direction we're coming in. But if you look on the RMP approach, there's a waypoint called Sikto. So what I'm going to do is when we're around 10 miles from the VOR, which if I again use this as an overlay, you can see here's the 10-mile ring there. So when we're about here on the magenta line, I'm going to route direct to Sitco, base leg, onto the ILS via Franny, and then we'll descend to 2,000 feet and intercept the ILS, even though these RMP waypoints aren't there, but we'll select the RMP approach in the GPS and route to these points. There is this sort of, you see a little of this in the US, the way of procedurally arriving is you get to the VOR, back course it to Obkin, enter a hold. It's not the most efficient way of doing it. We will descend to no lower than 1,500 feet once we're in 25 miles, so we know we're not going to hit anything. So it is sort of, in a way, self-positioning, but we're going via Sitco, not descending below 2,000 feet. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to work out track miles now. So the formula for working out descent in the DC-6 is you work out your altitude and how much you need to descend by. So I want to be at 3,000 feet nice and early, and we're at flight level 200, so I need to descend 17,000 feet. What you do, you times that by 5, so 17,000 feet times 5. Let's get my calculator up because I can't do maths at this time of the day. It's 85 nautical miles, and then you add 15 nautical miles to slow down at level flight. So 85 plus 15 is 100. Look at that maths, exactly 100 nautical miles. So it's got to take into account the track miles here. So obviously I don't want to do it 100 miles from the beacon because we're going to be very early descending. So track miles, what we're going to do is work out how much we're going to fly. So if I bring up the charts again, you can do this quite roughly. So we've got Opsin is about 10 miles, that's 7 miles, that's 17, and then this distance here is about, I'd say 15, so we call that 25, about 30 miles from this point here, and we're going to be 10 miles from the VOR roughly there. So we'll add 20 subtract 20 miles from that, so it's going to give us a start our descent at about 80 nautical miles away. So 80 plus the track miles, breaking off, going to Sikto, Obsin, Franny, and then runway 08. So yeah, not long to go till top of descent, 25 nautical miles, about 8 minutes. And we can get the rest set up now, because we're using conventional navigation for the approach once we get on final. So runway 08, courses will be 080, so I'm happy to set that now. (080) and there you go. You can see, you can work out what radial you're on now, so you can just point now. We're on the radial of 168, but we'll set that to the final approach course of 080. There we are. Final approach fix is Franny at 1700 feet. The minimums for this approach, still the same for the ILS, sorry, is 249 feet. So there's no way of setting this on any altimeter, I don't think. There's no call out. Yeah, there's no bugs. So we just got to remember, look, at 250 feet, that's minimums. Are we visual, are we not? Go around. And we need 2,400 feet visibility. It's about 550 meters, isn't it? And the same we've discussed. And onto the localizer we go. Missed approach is climb to 1,000 feet, right turn 2,000 feet to hold Bravo Romeo Whiskey, and climbing the hold to 2,000 feet. So there we are. And then we'll fly another approach. There's no guidance for the go-around procedure, but my golly, you've got to be smooth with those engines. So yeah, what we'll do is 16.2 we'll keep active as backup for the VOR, but we'll put on standby the ILS frequency, which is 110.5. And that's pretty much it. Landing performance then. So this does have reverse thrust. You can basically push the prop into beta. And we'll vacate at Charlie. And I found with this aircraft, you basically have to touch down, push this red lever, it goes into beta. You don't need any wheel brakes, and I think they recommend hardly using the brakes as well. It's more an emergency situation to use those. These old drum brakes. But we'll vacate Charlie, and the scenery here is very basic. None of this is here. It's just basically these two buildings. We'll park in front of Charlie. Alright. I might try the replay tool, the inbuilt one, see how we get on. We'll go from there. That's it. Really not much to discuss here. We've still got... what's that? 80... So 15 miles till top of descent. And we just let the aircraft accelerate. We don't want to change the power setting too much, so we can use the AFE for descent mode, so we'll change the power slightly and the RPM, but we just let the aircraft accelerate in the descent. Sorry, just calculating. Oh, Hitcherswick, you saw the distance speed time triangle, yeah? It's basic maths, but it's nice to remember. So I had that referenced, I think, for the DC-6 and some manual stuff. Happy Sauce says, I see you always apply your sunscreen very well, as pilots are supposed to. What, did you see tanned legs? Or my pasty skin. Slush Puppies, you want to see a stream in the Fearless 742 with the LTN? That thing scares me, maybe one day. Oh dear. Ben Butler, you'd like to learn to fly the Fearless 74, but I think it's just sensory overload. It's hard work, but very rewarding, a bit like flying this aircraft. But I don't think enough people try these aeroplanes. It's great fun. I love the challenge it gives me. Gilio, I think that was you in the 737-400, just landed ahead, runway was visible from 5 miles. Perfect, thanks for the heads up, buddy. There you go, Short said to Ben Butler, yeah, just go for it. There's loads of videos on YouTube, you can watch my dodgy streams on how to operate the aircraft as well. No terrain issues, thankfully, here. Forgot my lack of geography. Is this tundra? Is this tundra here? There's a little frozen river there. Gosh, it looks cold. One of the longest flights we've done at the DC-6. That's the fuel situation. All good. Just under £1,000 per tank, but that's what we expect. Our alternate is 1.3 tonnes. So in pounds, that's £2,800 to divert. So 2,800 divided by 4. Each tank wants about £700 of fuel remaining to divert. We've got in excess of that. We took minimum block fuel for this sector. Alright guys, 86.5 miles. You know what? I'm going to be a bit conservative with the descent and start now. So we'll go straight down to 3,000 feet. There's no MCP to set. So what we're going to do is tell the engineer, the AFE, that we want to start our descent.
26 inches, please.
We'll set 26 inches.
26 inches.
Turn off altitude control. And now I'm just going to pitch down to maintain 1,000 feet per minute in descent. So reducing power. Top of descent, ladies and gentlemen.
Just sit.
Well, that was a bit of an aggressive pitch down.
Please. Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked.
Set the QNH now.
Seatbelt signs on.
We'll get a bit closer.
On.
Actually, can somebody grab the
Engine low.
altimetry setting?
Low.
Blowers to low. Well, hopefully now
Descent checks are complete.
adjust power now. Hopefully, yeah. So he's look. See how the engineer's now adding power because he's turned off the superchargers. Hopefully, he's not knacking my engines. Oh, he knows what he's doing. And it's still engine 1 and 4 a little damaged. Okay, okay. Engine health question mark. I love it. Alright, down we go. And we're obviously accelerating now. Give it a go, Ben. Top of descent already, yep. 1,000 feet per minute, and we're at 21 minutes away, yeah. Should work out quite nicely. And again, I don't mind levelling off a little earlier at 3,000 feet today. Oh, it's going to be in the cloud as well. I hope. What's the de-icing systems we have here? So we've got all these heater fuel switches, cabin master, carburetor de-icer, okay, prop de-icer. What's this here? Heater, and these blow off bottles, I think, if the engine catches fire. What's this here? Emergency instrument power. Auto feather. There's no icing conditions here. Oh, there are. There we go. Pitot. Pitot scoop heater. Belly scoop. My goodness. Well, hopefully he'll use that. Right, I do not want to freeze up anything. There's static heater as well. Oh, what's this for? Is that the pressure outside? Alright, I think I know where most of the heater controls are. Gosh, yeah, so much to manage. Anyway, just keep descending a little quicker to make sure I'm doing 1,000 feet per minute. Indicated airspeed is now just under 200 knots, doing about 230 knots ground speed. Lovely. So next thing is 10 miles. We'll make that left turn to Sikto by selecting the approach in the FMS or the GPS. Oh really, the almighty snark, I've got to manage icing. Roger. Everything on. We hit the cloud. What's the current time now in Alaska? 20 past 3 in the morning. I mean, I suppose in a way cargo flying is realistic at this time. Almighty snark, what are you referencing there? You're talking about a different aircraft, APU. $240 knots, look at us go. Just be aware of VMO speeds, but they're very high. Obviously the fuel flow will be a little less in descent, which is good. Burning about 420 pounds an hour per engine. Happy days. Oh, sorry, well, I just started talking about the 742. I got a bit lost in your chat there. Very good. Oh, you know what? That last stream we did, it was so hot. It was about 30 degrees outside. Temperature now in the office is a refreshing 24.5. Lovely. Oh yeah, taking this. I think I did take this aircraft on VATSIM once. We flew to Mahon, Menorca, and I was a bit of a pain for the air traffic controller because I think it was an event and there was a lot of jet traffic, and obviously this has an approach speed of 140, reducing to 120 knots on final. So I was slowing everything down, and I needed a really long final to get level. So it's like, can I turn you in now? I said, no, I'm still need to. I can't reduce any more power because I don't want to shock all these engines. But we did get in the end. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I had a few issues with the ILS. I think the ILS here, this default airport, isn't completely aligned with the runway. Because when I came out of the cloud of my test sector, I was on localizer glide slope, but I was not lined up with the runway. So with the cloud base being quite low today, it could be quite interesting when we become visual. Might have to do a bit of a dash towards the threshold. Anyway, passing 14,000 feet. Let's set the altimeter. So it's 3003, which in QNH is 1016. 1016. I think I can press the magic B button now anyway. Oh, there we are. It's done it for me. Perfect. Elevation here is pretty much sea level 50 feet. Splendid. Minutes to run to the VOR. Don't forget we're going to break off before then. I think the 1,000 feet's are the sort of standard descent rates in this aircraft as well. Manifold pressure is 26 inches. RPM still at 2,300. Looking good. So the manual talks about when you approach your altitude, level off 3,000 feet above elevation and then decelerate, which can take about 10 to 15 track miles. Again, you really want to be careful of the engine. So we'll use the AFB to do something called the in-range checks, which sort of sets up the aircraft to slow down. We then turn the EFB off to manage the throttle and keep the BMEP between 90 and 110. Any excessive changes can sort of damage the engine, especially if you're making rapid changes. We then extend the flaps with the AFE to flap 20, and then we can use it for landing, and he'll drop the gear, drop the flaps for you. Give it a little bit more trim nose down. There we go. It's actually looking okay. Might be overcast later on. We'll have to descend through this fin layer to 3,000 feet. What are the ropes? There's a bit of bungee cord holding the compass in place. Very well detailed bungee cords as well. I think you get that in the DC-3 I've seen as well. It could be a bit dark under that blanket of cloud. I mean, it is 3:15 in the morning. Coming airborne now for nearly 2 hours. Flight time's been quite quick actually. Scheduled on block time was 12:05 Zulu. We'll probably land about 20 minutes ahead of schedule. Now, 9.5 tons of freight on board. You can actually see them through the windows. See it through the windows. Now, there's a little bit of the coastline. The most northern town or city in the United States of America. Amazing. Okay, 48 track miles to run. I don't know if you can actually hear the nav aids. It never works well in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. No, I can't hear anything. Great stuff. So passing 10,000 feet, I'll put the lights on. Extend the lights as well. So they're popping out under the wing root. Might give me a little bit of drag actually. That's really interesting. Anyone find out what that sort of ram air scoop's for? That'd be interesting. Probably engine cooling or something. Look at that, we're doing 230 odd knots indicated. Fast. Take care, Short. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, the weather's definitely improved compared to the start of the stream, that's for sure. Forecast was overcast at 500 feet, so broken up quite nicely for our arrival. I have to say the depiction of live weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator is pretty good now. Just the turbulence and mechanical turbulence associated with strong winds close to the ground isn't great, but that's what we'll hopefully have one day. DME 42 miles.
Welcome.
We've got 11 minutes to the VOR, but remember we're going to break off before then. I'm just going to decrease the rate of descent just to slightly below 1,000 feet per minute. Thanks for the subscription there, FizzXO, welcome aboard. And Nefian, do you have an additional fuel burn factor on the 7.3 if a landing light fails to extend? It's negligible. But there's no table that refers to it. It's going to be a very small amount. Oh, it's an inlet for cooling of the cabin air. Well, there you go, Pascal. It wasn't engine related. Airfrag, love the DC-6, just can't justify buying it. I don't think I'd get the use out of it. It's a very niche aircraft, obviously, and it is a challenge to fly, but you know, if you get a bit of spare pocket money one day, you might have to invest. It is a very challenging aircraft to fly, but again, there's lots of documentation available. The checklist I'm following, as I said at the start of the stream, very easy to find, free to download. This guy called JD makes loads of checklists with lots of add-ons, just simplifies it for single pilot operations. It's really, really useful. It's not just checklists, it talks about steps and how to operate it. Really useful. Oh, it's a combustion heaters. That's cool. I had a combustion heater in the Seneca. The Seneca was literally heated by avgas. Amazing. 37 miles to run to the beacon. Get ready to select this approach here in the FMS. This is to position us onto the ILS. Uh-oh. What's the airport's good job of doing this now. Papa Alpha. Bravo Alpha. Enter. Oh, got the wrong airport. Prat. Papa Alpha Bravo Romeo. That's better. So it will be RNAV, but we are going to use the GPS via SIGTO. I'm going to load it, but I'm not going to activate it yet. When we're 10 miles away, we'll route direct to SIGTO, which is on base leg. 32 miles to run, 9 minutes. We're going to be nice and low, nice and early, which is what I wanted, remember? Passing 6,500 feet. Aerofrag, combustion heaters give me PTSD. I was always concerned about the fact that we were burning fuel to heat heat the aircraft in the Seneca, but it was really effective. I remember flying in January doing the instrument rating. It was so cold. We fired this thing up and it was roasting hot. Air came in. Just reduced our rate of descent to 500 feet per minute. 30 miles. -2, a little bit of icing conditions then. have actually got the manual open in front of me.
50, 40,
Cheers.
30, 20, 10.
Challenge not accepted. It'll be a butter anyway.
Butter or GA?
Butter today. There's no way in Microsoft Flight Simulator of knowing if it was a butter or ground. It doesn't come up. But it will be a butter. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for your support. Alright. 27 miles, 8 minutes. Begin to start slowing down. Within 25 miles now, so we know that the MSA is 1,500 feet, so we're fine at 3,000. They probably don't have any radar here, wouldn't need it. I did see that the 737 operates though. I think Alaska Air operates this airport. Airfrag, you remember doing a survey in a 404 overnight to Christmas Eve and the heats are failing. I was already in thermals and we had to cancel the survey. Oh, it must have been freezing. Or was it stuck on? I can't remember what you're referencing there, but yeah, ouch. You're still flying GA, buddy? Been a long time since I've flown any twins or anything with a piston engine. Hello, Gooby. Would pilots of your have flown under less strict operational criteria? No, I think to answer your question, but I'm not sure what you're referring to there. The Gooby. Alright, 2,000 feet to go, 200 knots. Once we level off, we'll do the in-range checklist, which will start increasing the RPM and set a power setting to sort of slowly decelerate the aircraft. Remember, you've got to treat these engines with respect. Don't make multiple changes in power, but essentially keep the RPM, the BMEP between 90 and 110, and use the flaps to slow down. You can reduce the power a little bit lower if you need to around 70, but no less. But as soon as you're below 168 knots, you can select flap 10. You've got all the flap placard speeds here. Our landing weight today is going to be about 76,500 pounds. So you can work out your VREF with full flap, 76,500 pounds. Let's call it 80,000 to be conservative. Our final approach speed will be about 106 knots, but the approach speed 130. So 130, 100 over the threshold, basically. Distance 20 miles. Into the soup we go. Lemon Wolf, would you recommend getting the IXCG 733 or the FlyJ Sim on release? Get the FlyJ Sim. IXCG 733 has been, for all intents and purposes, abandoned. Hasn't received updates in years, and it was a little buggy when I last flew it with the FMS. FlyJ Sim will be updated soon. Hopefully receive periodic updates, so I'd recommend that one. Shame about the IXCG. Okay, more acceptable to bend rules. You can't bend rules in aviation. You can't be a risk taker, macho personality. Just not compatible. Alright, we're going to keep an eye out the props then for de-icing. Are the pitot heats? Is the pitot heat definitely on? Oh gosh. I've got oh, that's the ammeter setting. I just hope it is on. Well, we'll find out if it's not. 16 miles to run and then we're going to brake left. Turn all this on. Seems to be missing most of the clouds here. Oh, Lepo, can you offer flight conventional approaches raw data? So my operator, we don't approve flight director offline in commercial operations. There's no justification. There's an element of you know, if the weather was perfect, I'd like to see it encouraged, but I have to respect my operator's rules and procedures. And it's a very reliable system, it doesn't just fail. Stunning views, Jordan. Good morning to you. Oh no, good evening to you. Coming in from New Zealand. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? Perfect route today. Okay, approaching 3,000 feet level off, 12.5 miles. Perfect rate of descent. This is exactly where I wanted to be at 3,000 feet for. So again, just use the glide wheel to level off. There's plenty of time to bring the speed back. MSA, remember, is 1,500 feet, so we're well above the terrain. Oh, I know what I've not done. Cold temperature corrections. It was below zero, wasn't it? Oops, we should probably be at 3,200 feet or so, but there's no point because it's not modelled, is it, in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Right, I'm just gonna... yes. Modes. Right, in range, please.
Cooling turbine. Normal.
10 miles.
Fuel booster pumps.
Oh gosh, I've got to do everything at once here. Level off. That. Procedure.
On low.
Activate.
Fuel
Approach.
tank selectors.
Route direct to Sitco. Left turn.
Hydraulic bypass valve. Down.
Level
No
off.
smoking signs.
Altitude control on.
On.
Oh, level off. No, no, no. Don't descend.
Range checks complete.
1,500 feet is the MSA, but hopefully it'll start pitching up. It does drop a little bit in descent. That's horrible. When you're turning into a cloud and the cloud's not flat, it gives you awful spatial disorientation. It feels like you're rolling more than what's required. Okay, so we're now at 3,000 feet. In-range cruise checks complete. So now it's reduced the power to about 90 BMEP. And then we'll just keep an eye on the speed. I can use flaps now to slow down. I'm almost below 168 knots, which is the speed at which you select flap 10. And as long as you're below 174, which you already are, we can select flap 10. We're not going to exceed any maximum speeds. Negative Kitty, are you sure cold temperature is modelled? Because last time I tried it, I changed the temperature and the altimeter didn't change at all. Now it's in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, we're now routing direct to Sitco, 3,000 feet, nice and level, nice and early. And approaching Sitco, I'll start extending the flaps. We want to bring the speed down to around 140 knots by the time we turn from base to final. Right, icing conditions in this cloud here. Ugh. I've got my carburetor de-icing on, and everything's in the green. We'll ignore the fact that the engine health of 1 and 4 isn't great. Okay, negative. I'll have a look at it. Hopefully, maybe it is modelled. In that case, I should have made temperature corrections. Thankfully, it's only just below zero. If you use real world, it is modelled. Okay, cool. That must have been updated at some point. Good to know. So, we're not using the VOR now. Let's switch over to the ILS. 1105, 1105. The beacon actually points towards the runway, which is pretty cool. But now we've got localizer and glide slope deviation available. There we are, overhead Sitco. That doesn't take long. We can now select the flaps. Oh no, hold on. No, this is... What's it doing here? Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not anywhere near Sitco yet. Where are we going? Oh, I've lost... Oh gosh, right, what's happened to my radio navigation? I'm on V-lock. I didn't change that. Back to localizer. Let me just trigger that here. I don't know what's happened there. Gyropilot's on, autopilot's on. It is not routing direct to Sitco. That's dangerous. Couldn't jump those MSAs though. What happened there? Left turn, please. Why is it not turning? Oh, I'm going to have to do this manually, aren't I? Gyropilot. It's not turning. It's not following the GPS routing. I've got GPS engaged, gyropilot in, and it's just heading north. Even the deviation is showing left turn, but the aircraft isn't turning. There's nothing I've missed here, is there? Gyropilot's on. I've got... Oh, why did it go off localizer again? Localizer selected, but it's just not turning. Okay. Right. Now my workload's going to be high. I'm going to have to manually position the aircraft onto the ILS. Alright, gyropilot. Let's see if at least can turn. Yes, okay, I can turn the aircraft using the gyropilot. So we need to get ourselves onto a downwind heading. Downwind is going to be 260, plus I've turned inside the airport slightly, so I'm going to go on to heading of 240 now. Yeah, put it into lock instead of gyropilot. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was in lock. It's been in lock to follow the GPS. Why are we descending? I've got altitude hold on to maintain 3,000 feet. What is it doing? Altitude control is engaged and the autopilot's in. It shouldn't be descending like this. Oh, I've now completely lost situation on this right turn. Why has it descended 500 feet with altitude hold on? Right, that was good actually. We can now roll out on a heading of 260. Autopilot's climbing back up to 3,000 feet. Oh, it's descending again. We're going to die. Oh my god, it's really descending. I don't think it likes these steep turns. Alright, that's heading 260, wings level. So if I roll wings level, I've lost 900 feet. So it does not like the aircraft turning. Anyway, I've got the aircraft back on, inbound to Sicto now. I'm just going to have to manually position. Right, oh gosh, watch the speed here. You know what? 2,000 feet's the minimum altitude at Sitco. Look, so Sitco 2,000. I'm just going to descend to 2,000 feet now. Oh my goodness me! Altitude control off. It's clearly not working. And then yeah, I'm just going to have to use this to level off. Yeah, at least this is working. All right, 2,000 feet. I'm just going to use the altitude control on to maintain altitude now. Okay, right, we're below required speed. We want to be doing 140 knots, so I'm going to extend flaps to 20. 10, 15, 20. I'm just going to temporarily disable the AFE so I can maintain the speed. So in range off, adding a bit of power now. Remember, I want to keep it between 100 and 110. Actually, no, I can go up to 140 now, up to 140. Perfect. So DME now, I'm downwind. I'm going to wait until we get to Sitco. Sitco takes us onto via Obsin onto around a 15-mile final. So I'm just going to wait until about 15 miles before we turn. Self-positioning now. A bit more power, my goodness, 150. I want to be doing 140 knots ideally. I could do 130, so up to a maximum of 100 to 150 BMEP, but I'm going to have to add more power. You know what, I'm just going to retract the flaps a notch. I'm going to have to go up to 160. It's all okay, getting a little hot with the old cylinder head temperatures, but I need to maintain speed. I can also use this to self-position. What happened then to the ability to maintain altitude? I don't know. Turning base. I'll turn off GPS, go to VLOC. Yeah, it's really struggling to maintain altitude in the turn. Alright, back to 150 BMEP. Yeah, 120, 130 knots. Good. Okay. That's better. Want to roll on a track of 350. Do. Okay. Now, looking at this one, when we're in 10 degrees of our final radial 080, so when this says 070, I'll turn final intercept the localizer from 2,000 feet. We're at the platform altitude. Oh, it's going to be... I'm not going to see the runway. Speed's okay, 120 knots, that's fine. BMEP's about 160. Quick scan of the engines. I don't have the AFE on now. Cylinder head temperature's a bit high. Let's just crank open. I might just quickly... open up the cowl flaps a bit more. Keep those cylinder head temperatures under control. Ooh, it's a bit spicy on one of them. Ooh, high stress range, mixture 2 lead. Ah, lightning bolts. I might just reduce the power a bit. I'm open the cowl. More open. More open. Fully open. Cool air, please. Good, they're open. Hopefully that'll bring the temperatures down. There's the cylinder head temperatures. I can't find the gauge. Ooh, I think it's worked. I think it's worked. It's just outside the caution zone. Mixtures, it should be fully leaned. I did a thing, guys. Look at this. Ah, yes, green ticks and only an occasional question mark. I'm fine. It's still only slightly damaged engines. Great. Just adjust the trim here. I don't want to go below the platform altitude at 2,000 feet. The glide's not working. I'm descending. It's not working. I think I'm going to have to hand fly, guys. I can't actually control altitude. It's completely broken. Am I frozen up or something? Off my controls. And let's maintain 2,000 feet. And a little bit of BMEP. Getting ready to turn final here. So I'm waiting until that radial's within 10 degrees of the final approach track. Speed, 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 speed. It does not want to. I'm going to have to add more BMEP here and climb up. Oh my god, I've got... guys, I've got no pitch authority at all. Oh, there we go. I don't want to go any slower than this. I'm going to have to add more power. Screw it. We're gonna stall otherwise. Right, I'm going to turn base now within 10 degrees of the final approach track. I need to get back up to 2,000 feet without stalling, but it's flying like it's in gust. Oh my god, I can't maintain altitude. I'm going to have to set loads more power. Oh my... I've got full aft! I've got full aft! And I've trimmed those up as much as I can. What's happened? What is going on? I've got full aft. Is it really 110 knots that bad? Have I got massive icing or something simulated? I've got full aft. And I've got trim nose up here. And I've got full power. I think I've got ice. Some weird modelling going on of ice here. I've got full aft if I do. Oh! My elevator doesn't work. Guys. It's working, but... have I got the autopilot on still or something? Off. And the autopilot's off. And all is off here. But I've got no pitch authority. Oh my gosh. I pressed Z. I think I had the autopilot in some... I think there must have been some bug there with Microsoft Flight Simulator autopilot. Oh my goodness me. I disconnected it, but I pressed Z to actually properly disconnect it. But I've still got some weird icing issue here because to maintain level flight, I've got full power. Not quite, but I can barely hold the speed. Oh my goodness me. Oh my god. No, it's doing it again. Z. Yeah. I can now... Oh my god. Localizer alive. I think I've got... Have the engines blown up yet? I think some weird icing is going on. Localizer alive. Right, I'll just maintain 1,000 feet now. What's that? Isn't that the autopilot disconnect? Oh my gosh. I'm setting up to 46 inches here. I've got the cowl flaps fully open, but it's the only way I can maintain altitude. I've got... Something's not right. I've got 45 inches, flaps at 15, and I'm about to... I'm going to have to go full power here. Something's not right. I've got over boosted the engines now massively, and I can't maintain airspeed. I think I've got some stupid icing in the sim. Oh, we're going to crash. Full power. I'm going to have to lower the nose to recover the airspeed here. The engine's going to probably blow up. What? I've flown this aircraft so many times before and I've never had any issues, but I think I've got massive icing issues or something in the sim. Alright. Oh, these engines are going to be seriously damaged. Funny control binding. I don't know, something weird's going on with the autopilot, that's for sure. But I'm having to... I'm at 800 feet. Oh yeah, I've lost... It's like the autopilot's in again. Off. It was in. But I've got no pitch. Look! I can't pitch! I can roll, but I've got no pitch authority. And the autopilot's off. Look, full back, nothing. Full down, nothing. And everything is off. I've got... off, autopilot's off. I've lost all pitch authority. We're at 600 feet, guys. Nice knowing you all. I've got full power. My engines are damaged. Oh. Yeah, we're going for a swim, guys. How many miles have I got till touchdown? 5 miles? Oh, going for a swim. No. Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to reduce power, I think. But, yeah, I can't fly. Yeah, we're going for a swim. Come on. There's only one option left. You're going to hate me for this, guys. I can't, oh no! I still can't pitch the aeroplane. Yeah, it's. I'm able to at least climb now, but I've got no pitch authority. I think some weird icing things going on here. Can I trim? No, I can't even trim. Oh no, there we go. Going down for a drink again. I've got so much power on these engines. Can I? 300 feet. I could just about see the runway off to the right. Come on, just give me a little bit of speed. Oh, there's the sea. Come on, give me a bit more speed. I've got no pitch. I can trim, but I can't pitch. It's like I've lost full elevator control. Oh, there we are. Where's that runway? I'm not even lined up with the runway, am I? I can't even see it. I've completely lost situation awareness. Oh, we're going down. I've got full aft again. Don't make me go around, but I've completely missed the runway. Yeah. Full aft. Oh my gosh. I've missed the runway anyway. Right, we're going to fly downwind and try and land on the other one. Oh my gosh, the engines are nearly fully down. Oh, right, I think I'm just going to ditch it, guys. Here we go. Oh, full power. Oh, she's coming away. She's coming away. Airport's off to our right, but I've got no control of my elevator, so I've just cheers imperfection, 2 quid, brace, brilliant. Alright, well there's the airport off to our right hand side. I completely missed it. There's a boat there. I think it's covered in snow. I can't pitch the aeroplane. There's the runway. Oh, brat. I'm just trying to survive here. 3 engines are damaged, and I mean I've got full power. I can't pitch the aeroplane. Yeah, I don't think it's a binding issue. I think something's happened with ice, and Microsoft Flight Simulator has made the aircraft unpitchable. All right, what I'm going to try and do, if I'd actually maintained situation awareness of our position laterally, I could have at least attempted to land. You know what? It's pretty flat here. I think we're just going to attempt to land it here instead of crash. Right, let's drop the gear. Or can I make it round to the runway, do you think? Well, not now, I've dropped the gear. I'm pretty committed. Look at the elevator. I mean, look at the elevator. I'll put it like this. Full back for like the last 5 minutes. I mean, I could be... Right. Extend the flaps. I don't dare circle. Oh, that's really... Oh, that's better. I actually got a bit more pitch authority. Was it because I was clean? 100 knots. I'm going to try and make it back to the runway, but I've got to be careful here. Oh, full power on my damaged engines. Been a right runner. Oh my gosh. Oh no, don't get me over the sea. Oh, I could have made... Oh, I'm doing about 100 knots. I don't dare turn more than this. I'm just about holding it. I've got full aft, I've got full nose trim up. Oh no, this is it, guys. I'm going to have to go in the sea, aren't I? Do I have time to raise the gear? Come on, give me level flight. Come on. Gear's coming up. I can't raise the gear. Gear's stuck down. Oh no, it's coming up. Full aft. Come on, hang in there, engines. You're giving me a rate of climb, which is good. Gears come up a little bit. Oh no. Wings level just to get a positive rate of climb again. What about 80 feet, guys? Oh dear, oh dear. Right. Oh, I've level flight. I mean, I can try to attempt to repair the engines again, but I think with this bug, I'm buggered. Alright, airspeed's okay. A little tiny right turn. I'm on base leg here. Cheers, Eddie Mambo. Thanks for the Swedish krona. Very first ditching. I'm having to turn left to turn right. 100 feet. Oh no, we're losing altitude again. I might. Oh, come on. Oh look, we've got to climb. Oh. Oh my goodness, where's that? Have I got rid of the ice? Oh my gosh, I'm all of a sudden able to do 500 feet per minute. Oh my goodness me. I've gotten performance. Okay. Ooh. I've got both these engines almost, all these engines almost at full power. They're hanging on. I've just overshot the centre line for the reciprocal runway. All of a sudden, I've got performance to maintain about 400 or 500 feet per minute in the climb, whereas I'd be barely able to make level flight. So I reckon and I've got more elevator authority now. Yeah, that. Well, not great. I've still got full pitch back to maintain. I mean, 100 knots with flap 20, we should be okay. Right, come on, come on. Oh, I've got an oil pressure light. Come on. Just hang in there. Wasp radial engines. Reset engines. No, I could do it with this damaged aircraft. I've got hardly any pitch authority, and I'm having to hold it fully back. I think if I maybe just lower the nose slightly, just to get. Oh. I've got nothing. I've been holding fully back, and it's yeah. My elevator ain't working. All right, come on. We can do this. There's the airport. There's the runway. We can do this. Come on. Don't use Everts Air Cargo. We'll drop the gear. I don't want to drop it too early, because we'll lose full directional control. My test sector didn't go like this, by the way. Right, okay. I've got no pitch authority, so I'm going to have to use power to adjust the pitch. I've got a little bit of pitch authority, but hardly any. Look at this. Okay, I'm actually going to take a bit of power off here. Alright, there's the runway. Come on. Come on, sir. Elevator ain't elevating. I think that is the closest we've ever been to. I mean, it's not over yet. Gear down. Okay. I'm not using flaps, and I'm not using the AFE. Oh gosh. Oh no. It's starting to go down. I've got to fall back again. Come on. Oh yeah, it's just arrested the rate of descent that has. Oh, great. Oh, full nose down. I'm trying to use power here to control the pitch. Right, hopefully the gear's down. Right, oh, full down. Come on. Full aft. Oh no. Full aft. Oh, pitch power. I'm using power to pitch the aircraft here, and with what limited elevator control I have. Oh, full aft, full power. Come on. Don't descend. Don't. Oh no, what's the full aft? Crap. Come on. Do not do this to me now. Come on. I've got no pitch authority anyway. my god! Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Barrow. And we even made Charlie. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fine, all under control. Oh, that was never in doubt. Never in doubt. I'm going backwards now. Oh, I need to cancel reverse. There we go. Unbelievable. That was just. Oh, why am I going backwards? I think my engines had it. How on earth I got this down, I have absolutely no idea. But I lost all control. I was at one point having to pitch, using power to pitch, use old school techniques, but we got it down. Gary, cheers. 25 months, what a fantastic piece of aviation. Well done, Captain. My goodness me. Lost all pitch authority. I don't know what happened. It's just ever since we were sort of on the downwind of base leg, the navigation started behaving strangely. The autopilot didn't work, and then all of a sudden
50, 40,
it just lost
30,
all pitch roll, and I had to use
20,
power to pitch the
10.
aircraft and increase airspeed, but we got it down. Cheers, Eddie, thank you. He says, can't do, yeah, there's this level of skill I demonstrated which just cannot be taught. Unbelievable. Right then, airfoil master heater was off. Do you think that was it? Do you reckon my elevator just froze up? It could have been. But the icing model in this sim has been completely broken. I've landed with, I think I only had one engine remaining, look. 1, 2 and I think 1, 2 and 4 is not, it's running, but it's not really providing any power, so maybe I only had one engine remaining, but I had it in full power for about 5 minutes. Oh yeah, everything's just off the charts. Oil temperature, oil pressure's low. I think we're stuck here with this DC-6. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Any landing you can walk away from, brilliant. Well, look, we've flown this aircraft multiple times before. We've not ran into that issue before. Let's do the after landing flow. Unbelievable. I'd love to know what the root cause of that was.
Checks complete.
LTAP. LTAP, yes. Right. Shut her down, Jim. Shut her down.
Set. Got engines.
I can't believe I actually landed. I thought we were going for a swim. A very cold swim at one point. Oh dear. Shut the engines down, Jim. Quick. Oh yeah, I forgot I was on that sim. There we are. Perfect. No problem at all. I can't believe it. That would have been 11 out of 10 on Utqiagvik. Absolutely. Absolutely. What happened? What on earth happened? You know, elevator's like, you know, fine. Look at the trim position as well. I mean, that was it that far out of trim? Just been in the trim tabs now. I'm showing a lot of nose down trim elevators, but I was trimming fully nose up. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to put it down. Little Alpaca Dash 8 there. I'm going to put it down to something going wrong with the icing model or something, because it was as soon as we flew into IMC, the autopilot started behaving strangely. It was unable to maintain altitude. It was unable to fly the localizer, so I disconnected the autopilot, and straight away I realised I've got no control of this airplane. I can't pitch it, pitch up, pitch nose down. It wasn't working. Roll control was okay, and then we tried to fly an approach, and then obviously we were fighting it. We went full power. I had a lot of nose up elevator, so maybe there was an element of induced drag which was preventing acceleration, but I think there was some weird issue with freezing and the controls were frozen, because I had full elevator. I let go of the elevator pitch, but it still stayed level. So then I was having to use power to pitch the aircraft. In doing so, I damaged the engines, because obviously you can't over-stress these, and these were stressed beyond unimaginable power. I think in real life they would have failed far sooner. But you look, at the end of the day, within the constraints of the simulator, yes, I did a cheeky little engine repair. With frame completely frozen, we got it down. We landed. We didn't crash. Ciao, Edo. Safe flight. Watch out for icing conditions. But there we are. We made it. I'm scared of the DC-6 now. But, yeah, maybe my next flight will go somewhere like the Sahara Desert where that won't happen again. Awesome. Aidan McCoy, use Active Sky, it's much better weather modelling than default. Yeah, possibly might look into that. I mean, it could be unique to this aircraft and the way that icing's impacting it, but I've never experienced that before. Marco Passengers having had a bad day. Oh, we got cargo on board today, thankfully, so the boxes might be a little scared, so any stowaways, but apart from that, all okay. AOG in the middle of nowhere now, yeah. Four Wasp Rainbow engines need to be replaced. We're stuck here in the northernmost city in the United States, in Barrow, but there we are. I missed most of the comments on the approach because that was a high workload there. Lots of rip comments. I thought we were gone, but we got it down. We landed on a paved surface. Shame it wasn't recorded. Oh yeah, Steve, I had no capacity to get that recording in, but yeah, we're down. We made it. Anyway, guys, look, that's the end of the stream today. Coming up to lunchtime here, I'm going to grab some food. Spend some time with my wife and daughter this afternoon before going to work in the simulator. But I hope you enjoyed the stream. This aircraft is now available for Microsoft flights in 2024. Go and have a look at it. You'll probably do a far better job than I did. Avoid icing conditions at all costs, but we managed to get it down. That's the main thing. Thank you everyone that donated, for all my members, for your continued support. Enjoy what's left of the weekend, and I'll see you on another Flight Data Sim live stream very, very soon. Cheerio!